All right, we're here. I think Larry's going to join us in, I'm not sure, maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes. It doesn't matter because today is Fan Appreciation Day for the Krueg Show.
Yes, indeed it is. Tomorrow, San Francisco Giants Fan Appreciation Day, as they were officially eliminated, finally put to rest. We laid them to rest, Ryan and I did months ago, but they had their final funeral today. But this is going to be about you guys today. We wanted to do our own Fan Appreciation Day, so we're going to put the link in to come on into the video. Either come in by video or you may come in with a phone call. We'd prefer to have you come in the video, and we're going to let you guys take the show in the direction you want to take it. So we can probably have up to what, Rye? Probably 3 more in here, maybe at a time, 3 at a time, say 5 in the room. We lost Rye for a sec. He'll be back in. Not sure what happened to him. He will be back shortly. But yeah, I'm going to have Rye's got the controls. So we want to put the link up. He probably was doing the link and had a glitch. Something happened, and he's probably having to reboot. So yeah, Giants go down today to the Diamondbacks. I didn't even see what the final was. I kind of gave up. What was it? 8-4. But hey, valiant comeback, winning 10 of 11 against the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. But we all knew it was over a while ago. So I think Rye looks like he's having some difficulties with the connection. So we'll see. But I'm waiting for Rye to put up the link. What we're going to do, we're going to bring in probably 3 at a time, let you guys kind of take the show in a direction that you want to talk about, whether that be the Giants, 49ers, Warriors, Antonio Brown, whatever which way we're going to go. But I'm not sure what's going on with Rye right now. It looks like he's definitely having issues here connecting. So crazy. Let's see. Yeah, he's going in and out trying to get back in. So yeah, any chats? Let's see what we got in the chats here. Jim Millay says, Dan and Ryan, finish up the homestand. You guys going to be out there? No, I'm in Arizona, Jimmy, and already got my tickets allotted for tomorrow. So that will hopefully they do something in the off season to make me want to renew, because if I don't see anything major done in the form of some serious trades or serious free agent transactions, I'm not going to be renewing. I'll just pick up the games that I want to go to and show up and get tickets then. So Hutch Gaming Service says, I'll be on for this. Finally have some time. All right. Hutch has been out for a while. Yeah, he's been probably working hard and haven't seen him for a while. MF says, see Tim Ryan down in Santa Clara. Question mark. We'll see. We'll see if Larry and Rye will be seeing him Monday night. So let me see if Rye's been texting me at all here. Let me text Rye real quick, see what's going on. Hold on one sec. Internet problems. Okay. All right. So what else we got? MF says time for the hot stove. Let's see. Who do we got in the chat right now? We got 29. We need to get some more guys in here. Get some of the regulars in here that hopefully the YouTube, you guys got the YouTube alerts on. Also, if you guys are new to the chat and haven't hit the like and subscribe button, go ahead and do that. That would be great. Let's get those. Let's get over 8,000 here in the month of October. We're over 7,000. We hit 7,000 about a week ago. next goal, next stop, 8,000. So tell your friends, family, neighbors, everybody you know about the Krueg Show, what's happening here. This is some of the best sports content and kind of content you won't get on regular talk radio, where we actually have some fun discussions, some battles, and yeah, we do it we try and do it every night, but the Giants, just fading out of the pennant race early on kind of left us with a September not to remember here. So kind of a frustrating September. There just wasn't, watched as many games as I could, but it just was like, when they're not in the race, it's just, and they're not even really playing their regulars. I was hoping they'd be playing David VR every game, Joey Bart every game. Austin Wynns, he had a decent last month or so with the bat. He proved his batting average up over 250. But, I want to see Joey Bart. I want to see Joey Bart develop. I want to see David VR develop. I want to see, hey, even Ford Proctor, put him out there every game. I don't care. Forget the stupid platoons. Just I wish we had Elliot Ramos up to see as well, but we didn't get that way. So I'm not sure. I'm wondering if Rye lost his internet altogether. Because very unusual for him to be on and then just lose the signal altogether. So, you know what? Maybe let's do a live call with Rye, see what's going on here, see if he's available. Ryan Smith. I don't even know what's going on. All of a sudden, Rye just disappeared. He's got the controls to bring you guys in. So I wasn't looking to do a solo show. We don't hear from Rye.
Your call has been forwarded.
All right. I don't know what happened to him. Anyway, he'll explain it when he gets here. Mark Graves says, when is the first day to sign free agents? Giants better strike first. I agree, Mark. I am not sure. Let's take a look. Let me just Google first day. I think it's like early November, right after the World Series. Things a lot of times don't heat up until December winter meetings, which is usually the first week of December down in San Diego. First day to sign free agents, MLB 2022. Let's see what we got. Following the conclusion, okay. That's not it. Key dates. Hold on one sec. All right. I had to yell to the back room to tell him to turn the TV down, so I couldn't concentrate. Here comes Rye. He's in the green room. Oh, it looks like Rye I think he was just hungry. He was in the green room snacking. So
I just had to get something to eat.
You did? See? Okay.
No, I'm joking.
Did you lose your internet or?
Yeah, well, it started for all of you out there. There's a little thing that comes up every once in a while if your internet connection's not good, where it kind of shows the Wi-Fi symbol in like one bar. And so I was like, I forgot I'm not hardwired. So then I turned my Wi-Fi off to hardwire, and then the hardwire wasn't working. So I had to just reset my route ski there real quick.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And now it's good. So
hey, well, thanks, Cal. It's November 7th, the first day to sign free agents. So hopefully the Giants strike early. Yeah, that would be nice. If they want ticket sales to go up, they better strike early. Hey, Rye, why don't we go ahead and put the chat for the link in for everybody to come in? We want 3. How about 2 to 3 at a time?
We want a bacchanal of fans. This is just a casual, like, That's not a meet and greet, but it's just like a let's all talk sports. Can you give me one second just here? I gotta adjust my camera. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. While you were cutting out, I said we can talk Warriors, we could talk Giants, we could talk 49ers, or we can talk Antonio Brown. We could talk
his sausage.
Oh my goodness, it's Pasquale.
I guarantee you, if you put his sausage up against everyone else's sausage from a flavor perspective.
Jeez.
Dude, what the hell? Why is this not working?
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to adjust my camera because you see how it's like not the full green screen.
Oh yeah.
There may be something funky's going on.
Well, while you work on that, bring in the link, then we'll get some other guys to come on in. All right, so we're going to take 2 or 3 at a time. If we get too many in the green, you'll just wait in the green room. Put your name, type your name in where it says studio, the box. Type your name in and then hit enter studio. Okay? So that link will be in the chat here shortly.
In about 3 seconds.
And once you see that link, come on in to StreamYard. If you've got a headset or mic, that would be great.
Yeah, just earbuds, like it could be AirPods or whatever. Just that would be excellent. What the hell? My computer's malfunctioning. I swear to God, the updates always screw you.
Oh yeah, when you do it. Hey, I was doing a financial seminar one time, right? Middle of my presentation.
I'm still there. I'm just
middle of my presentation. My computer goes into an update. And it completely shut down, and it took over an hour for the update. My seminar is like an hour. So I had to totally just ad-lib the whole thing. And, people couldn't see anything on the screen. It's kind of frustrating. But updates, you got to – so I kind of learned to always – once I had a seminar in the future, I just did an update right before. So come on in, guys. Come on in. Come on in. Join the Krueg Show. It's
yes.
Yes.
Jaguayo's in the room.
Jaguayo's in the room. Who else? Come on in. Jaguayo. Who's going to be the second one to join Jaguayo? 56. And we want to see
who's in the room.
Jaguayo. No video.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, that's okay. So one thing, if you could put in earbuds, that would be great, and turn off the volume from the show, I guess.
Yeah, I did turn it off.
What do you want to talk about, Jaguayo?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. So I was just very, very perplexed because of the season that we had with the Giants. I mean, I didn't expect us to redo the 107 games. That was
right.
I just didn't expect it. But, I really thought they'd be in there 85, 90-ish.
Yeah.
Around there. And, I mean, was it in your opinion, was it the injuries? Was it our bullpen? Was it what was the key? What was the key that was it Posey? Was it what happened? And
all the above. Yeah, it was injuries, it was the bullpen, it was Posey retiring, it was Farhan miscalculating the roster. I think it was partly Kapler basically not showing any real like the last month, it looked like Kapler was having fun, loosened up, was having fun with guys that came into the dugout when they were scoring or hitting a home run. It looks like he was having fun with the guys. He looked all stiff all year to me. And, guys play better when they're playing loose. And this team looked like they finally loosened up when they realized they were just playing for fun instead of, I don't know. I don't know if the expectations were too much coming off a 107-win team and that Gabe felt pressure to, try to somewhat duplicate that. But yeah, they were a stiff team. and I didn't think they played with any they didn't look like they had fun all year until the last few weeks.
I completely agree. I think it's hard to judge things. It's kind of like they say about the fog of war. You're in the fog of Giants baseball, and now that I've once I kind of came to grips with the fact that they're not making the playoffs this year, I think I'm willing to be pretty forgiving about the way the season was handled and the way the roster was constructed. I think that Farhan and Gabe are both clearly smart dudes. I think there was some hubris, 100%, and honestly, you could understand it. I mean, look, these guys that they had last year, like Wade and Ruff, and these guys that were great. It's like, if you're Farhan, I mean, you kind of just have to go off what they did last year, and you kind of have to expect maybe they're going to dip a little bit, but they're going to be within the same ballpark. And I think they just were a little hubristic. They thought, losing Posey, whatever, bringing him Rodon, they thought that maybe that would cause 10 games, 15 games of loss. They didn't realize that like the whole heart and identity of the team would just crumble away. And it's the curse of supposed to. They were supposed to win. Last year, they were not supposed to win. They were playing with free money all year. So I think that next year is going to be a very interesting sort of combination of the last 2 years. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be people in the Bay Area media that watch the Giants all the time. I could see Larry picking them to finish behind the Diamondbacks, but I also could see them, kind of competing again. So I don't know. I
see
think
what they do in the offseason. Yeah. It's all going to depend on what happens in free agency. The hopes of probably trading for Ohtani seem to vanish today as he agreed to a 30-year deal for next year to come back to the Angels, so he will not see that.
How much do you guys think the Desclafani and Gossman really hurt us as far as when leaving and Desclafani being hurt? Do you think we should have? Hindsight is hindsight, of course. It's 2020. But if we would have kept Gossman and Desclafani wouldn't have got hurt, would that have? With Rodon and Webb, you think that would have made a big difference?
Oh, huge difference.
Huge.
If you had Kevin Gausman in here, imagine that's probably good for 7-8 games. I mean, compared to what they had, whoever was in the starter now, I mean, whoever took his spot, whether that would have been Cobb or the fifth person, Junis. If you had a healthy Gausman. In fact, what was his WAR this year? I bet it was 5 or 6.
I don't know what his WAR was. I mean, he was really good. I completely understand though. Like, they went with Rodon instead of Gausman. But you bring up a great point about DeSclafani because I think they were really relying on the guy. I mean, they gave him the deal. He was just a consistent 3. ERA was like 3.2 or something like that. It's just that stability. It just makes everybody else have to step up to a position where they don't normally play, and it's like backup quarterbacks in the NFL. It's like Jacob Junis can get it going for half a season, but you can't rely on that ultimately.
Yeah, and glass half full. While we stay on here, Jaguar, but we're gonna read this from glass half full. Guy donates $4.99. Says, I want to believe Farhan will be big in free agency, but man, I'm not optimistic he will, and will settle for mid-level free agents again. Yeah, that's the fear. I mean, a tiger doesn't change its stripes, right? And so far, Farhan has been dumpster diving for 4 years. So hopefully, I mean, for him to, to start instead of dumpster diving, eating at the Prime Rib Steakhouse all of a sudden and going for Judge or Trey Turner or Carlos Correa or any of the other top free agents out there, and really going after him and setting the market instead of trying to get a deal. The only way Farhan gets these guys if he sets the market and doesn't hold back and wait and try and get some deal when that's his style. And hopefully he changes his style because he hasn't got the only free agents that he's signed that have been significant have been, I believe, the two pitchers, Gosman and Rodon. I mean, Jock was great, $6 million, and that's a good deal. But I mean, when you get a starting pitcher like Gosman and Rodon, the rest of his stuff has all been, below the belt stuff. Wade, Estrada. Give him credit for Estrada, but I mean, those are at the time were just minor deals. So hopefully he does step it up. MF in here says, "Yep." MF and I did make a trade today or yesterday in fantasy league.
MF, man, what the heck? We need to get MF on here. By the way,
yeah, MF, come on, join in, man. We can get 4 or 5 of us in. We can have a round table here.
Yeah, and you know what? If you're more comfortable, I'll put up the phone line as well.
Or they can call in. They don't have to. They can turn their camera off if they don't want to put their mug on here.
The one thing that I've noticed, Dan, and me and you go back a little bit more than Sir Rye, but if you notice the history of the Giants, at least since of course the West Coast over here, is we've never, hardly ever been like the way the Dodgers, the Yankees. We have never gone and signed big, huge free agents. Going back to 56 or 7 when they got over here, and I don't know what it is about it. Is it something that's just ingrained in the way their organization has always done things? And even when we had the success of the 10, 12, 14 World Series winners, we weren't a fantastic. We were not a fantastic up and down order kind of a team. We just played the right way, moved the runners overs, and great pitching, good bullpen. So I don't know. I mean, look at the way that the Dodgers have always gone in, that the Yankees have gone in, and sometimes they do hit it. The Yankees a little bit more than the Dodgers, but what has the Dodgers gotten more than what we have gotten, and the way they've done their way of building?
Well, they develop a lot better in the farm system. They have guys coming up from their system. They've been willing to spend money. Mookie Betts, they went out and got Freddie Freeman. They went out and got Trevor Bauer, even though Bauer had his misgivings. But they have not been shy about going after free agents. And it seems to be more this new ownership group that has been willing to put out the money. But, Jaguayo, like you said, we've been around the block for a long time here. And I'll put the all-time San Francisco Giants up against position by position against the Dodgers, LA Dodgers, any day of the week. In fact, let's do that real quick. Let's start at catcher. Now, catcher, we're going to go with Posey. The best they've probably had is Socha, or Piazza's pretty tough. He's a Hall of Famer. A lot of home runs. I don't know if you go Posey and Piazza. That's a tough one. Who would you go with there, guys?
Oh, 100% you go with Posey. I mean, I think you just do Mount Rushmore real quick because it's going to take too long to run through all that.
Well, if you win each position, it's pretty quick. I mean, we can blow them away.
All right, let's do it.
First base, we got Willie Mack. I mean,
who got contender?
Their best first baseman is, you got to go back to Gil Hodges, which was before the LA Dodgers. They don't have anybody. Wes Parker, Freddie Freeman at 1 year.
Okay. Second base.
We'll take Jeff Kent.
They had Jeff.
They got Davey Lopes or
Lopes.
Steve Sax.
Shortstop. Who you taking?
I'll take Crawford. And they got Maury Wills.
Trey Turner.
I might give them an edge there.
Okay, third base.
They got Ron Say. We got Matt Williams.
Okay, left field.
Left field, we got Barry.
Yeah.
That's enough said. Okay. Center field, Willie Mays. Enough said. Right field, who's we got in right field? Bobby Bonds.
Bobby Bonds.
Yeah. I mean, their best right fielder is probably Pedro Guerrero or Reggie Smith. So I still think we're better there. So we clean house for most positions. Where they beat us is probably starting pitching, but not by much. They got Koufax, they got Drysdale, they got Kershaw, we got Marichal, Timmy Lincecum, and Mad Bum, Matt Cain, Gaylord Perry. I think you put our San Francisco Giant. I'm not talking Brooklyn or New York. San Francisco against LA, we got more Hall of Fame players than they do. And so we have a rich history. We have a huge rich history. And that's where the Giants need to focus on and go back to that and put the Dodgers back where they belong behind us.
You know, the sad thing is you could also honestly, if you just wanted to say Oakland A's versus Los Angeles Dodgers all time and do the same thing, probably take the A's, and they have more championships. But it's the thing that's, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because I do believe that there's a weird thing where like sports teams in a city take on the personality of the city. And the weird thing is that people think of the flashy, Warriors and whatnot. And it's like, yes, they got Kevin Durant, but the rest of it was homegrown. All of their 49ers teams, all have been homegrown. All of the ones that have competed have all been homegrown. They don't go out and just, get crazy free agents. And then the Giants, it's been just like cast-offs and homegrown. So you look at that versus the Rams, the way they do business, where instead of having a lot of this depth, they just get the biggest stars at all these key positions. And then Lakers, go out and get all the stars. And then Dodgers now go out and get all the stars. So I just don't think that – I think specifically for baseball players, they don't care as much about being in the Bay Area. I think with basketball players, it probably is the biggest thing, just because of all the.
All right, yeah, we're having Fan Appreciation Day. I'm going to start calling people out. Okay, Romo, get in the room. Get in the green room, Romo. MF, come on in. You hit the link, call in. If you guys don't want to put your picture up on the show live, you can just do what Jaguayo did. Put Jay there, or, I want to see Romo. I want to see Graves. Come on in and mute me. Come on. Come on and mute me, Graves. Come on in, guys. We let's have a little round table here. You guys, we want you guys to take the show as though this is your show tonight, and you guys lead what we talk about.
Hey, Dan, where the hell's the slacker at?
The slacker?
He's just so lazy is the problem.
Oh, the slacker? Larry's lazy. He's lazy. Yeah, I think Larry, didn't he have an upset stomach yesterday? I think he was eating some completes.
Yeah,
he got an upset stomach yesterday. Had too much completes. He tried it out, and it didn't go well. So come on in. Also, we got Hutch. Hutch is out there in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Time to come on in, Hutch.
Hey, Robert Rosberg. How we like the winning streak by the Giants. I liked it. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. I like that they are. They're total C teasers. They brought us all back in, which was nice. Honestly, it's cool. I'm glad that we didn't end on a super gloomy note. I either would want them to lose every game like Dan wanted originally, or if you want to, we'll go and win 10 out of 11. Sure.
They're going to do a particular special. You watch. They're 79-7. They're going to finish 81-81. You watch.
Yeah.
Well, at least we didn't go out with a whimper.
Yeah. The only thing that bothers me is that if they think this is what the team really is capable of, because you heard Farhan say at the trade deadline, we're just a hot streak away from getting back into this. I believe in the present. Well, his present won 10 of 11, which is what they needed to do back in July. And had they done it in July or early August, we'd be having some fun right now. We'd be going into the final 4 games probably right in the thick of this race. So but they waited too long. And my fear is that Farhan says, see, this is what I saw in this team all along. And he tries to run it back with the majority of these guys. And he goes out and makes maybe one free agent acquisition that, isn't a major acquisition like Judge, Turner, Correa, but it's somebody like a Josh Bell or something like that. He thinks that's going to turn everything around.
That if you guys were to be the general manager and you were to start the best prospects that we have at every position for this next year, if you could do it.
What, not play the regulars, you mean? Just play your best prospects?
Yes.
I'd 100% do it.
How would we do it?
Oh, how would you do it? I put Casey Smith at third. I'd put at short, I'd put Luciano. Second base, what's the kid down in Sac that I was wanting to call up, the lefty, the guy that was hitting for power. All of a sudden, I can't think of his name. MF knows who I'm talking about. The kid that we got from the Marlins. Isan Diaz. Okay. At first base, VR. Go ahead and put VR at first base. Yeah,
well, Dan, I mean, what I guess
is that what he's asking?
What Jaguayo is asking, like, there's the balance of you don't want to, ruin these guys' confidence because that happens. It could be shot and never found again. So it'd be kind of like, I don't know. I would you'd have to sort of change the whole vibe of the team. Like, look, none of us are expecting you guys to be, crazy good. We believe in all of you, and we just want, give us your best shot this year. And it's just going to be invaluable going forward. And, if you're struggling a little bit, don't worry, we'll send you down to AAA, and it has nothing to do with your team, prowess.
I mean, they're not going to do anything like that. I think what Jaguayo's just saying is obviously what would you do? What are your guys if you just went with prospects and not vets? Is that what you're asking, Jaguayo?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
What kind of talent? What kind of talent do we realistically have in a lot of these guys?
Well, that's my infield, Bart behind the plate, and then my outfield would consist of Von Brown, probably Ramos, and maybe Matos, they're not ready, but if you're just talking best prospects to play out there, I would say, yeah, I like this kid Grant McCrae too, but he's, obviously not ready, but he's down in A ball. But he, if you're just wanting to see guys, that would be probably Grant McCrae or Matos as the other outfielder. But Von Brown out there along with Ramos, and then, you also got Hunter Bishop coming up. Pitching, well, I thought Jelly did okay. He doesn't strike me as a guy that looks like he's throwing very hard, even though he's throwing at 95.
He's a freak.
It looks like it's coming in very slow because he's so big, I think. But
we got somebody else in the green room, Eric.
Romo. Romo's in. Let's see who else is going to come on in. Come on, MF. Come on in, Graves. Who else? Hutch Gaming Service.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Eric from I always forget the name.
Galt.
That's right. I was going to say Gaff. Galt.
You just made a
Not much of a difference, to be honest with you.
All right. So, what's on your mind, Romo? You got any thing you want to take the show in any direction?
Well, I kind of was mentioning it in the chat, just talking about, and I don't know if you hit it as I was in a process of transferring over to the video, but Farhan really hasn't shown a history of signing big free agents. I mean, even when he was with the Dodgers, he really didn't he never did those big contracts at all. I mean, his biggest contract I think he's ever done was with Stella. I think wasn't that the news when they first signed him. So I mean, to have the confidence, yeah, he's smart and all that stuff, but is he gonna? He hasn't shown to go out there and get those big ticket items that a team may need, especially the Giants. I mean, they need that right now.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. It's just tough because, I mean, I see where he's coming from, where it's like the thing that, at the end of the day, the thing that nobody wants more than anything is to sign some guy and then he turns out to be a bum and he's forever.
Yeah.
It's a tale as old as time, but also it's like, dude, it's not your money.
Right. True.
It's like, if the ownership is down, like just take a shot, man.
Well, and I think he kind of put himself in that situation for not really signing any. I'm not saying that last year in 2020, this last offseason that he should have gone out and like just broken up the banks, but do something to where you're making a team somewhat better. You're coming back with guys. I mean, and he's smart. You obviously got to know that these guys are probably not going to have the same type of season. So maybe we need to bolster the team a little bit, and we did with Rodon. I mean, I give him that. But as far as a significant impact, and we've talked this a million times, when you're losing Posey and not signing Solana, which could have been cheap. And then and Bryant, that's kind of we dodged a bullet on that one.
I heard Kuiper say he thinks that they'll want to bring back Brandon Belt. That he thinks that Brandon Belt will.
And I could see them wanting to bring back Longoria too.
Yeah, I know. And then where's the room for anybody else?
Exactly.
I mean, if you bring Belt back and Longoria and Yaz, I mean, you're like, and then you got JD Davis in there.
I like JD Davis.
I like JD Davis, but where are you going to play all these guys?
Yeah, where are you going to play them all?
I mean, I don't mind Belt on a $5 million contract with incentives to if he plays so many games, hits so many homers, that type of thing. That he got $18 million this year. I mean, give him a $5 million base contract. That if he's not producing, you just kind of say, "Hey, Brandon, we're gonna let you gracefully bow out, retire, or whatever."
Right.
Or put you on an injury list or trade you or whatever. But if that's the case, and then let him earn, over $10 million with incentives, maybe even more.
Right.
The guy hit 29 home runs in 97 games in 21.
Yep.
So if the knee is healthy, the guy could hit 30 homers. He's still got it in him. But he was hurting so bad this year, he was useless for the team.
Yeah, he was. As a matter of fact, he was talking about that. He had a good interview last week with Tolbert and FP, and he basically said that he had nothing underneath he had no legs. So I mean, you really can't do much when you don't have any legs. So.
Yeah, and that's the problem. So I'm okay if they want to do that on a, but don't bank on that.
Exactly.
Still go out and sign a guy like a Josh Bell or somebody that or trade for somebody that could play first base at, let's not run out all these guys at first base, plan on playing Flores at first base. And, Flores played almost 100. He may top 150 games this year. He was at 146 the other day, and they've got 4 left. I don't know. Did he even play today, Wilmer, or was he not in the lineup?
Wilmer was in there, wasn't he? Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but anyway, I think it would be really they got to do something. Good to see Flores get the Willie Mack Award. Which who did we pick? Didn't we pick Flores?
I think a lot of us picked Flores or Estrada. I mean, the thing that's kind of interesting is, Farhan, like, he's clearly a really smart guy, and there's a lot of like Shanahan parallels where it's like, both of them, I think they both are kind of deemed to be like, they turn these guys that are kind of, below average into above average players. And it's kind of, that doesn't mean that they can develop young talent. Like, Shanahan hasn't shown that he's been able to develop young talent. He's shown that he can get Matt Schaub or, Matt Ryan or Jimmy G or Kirk Cousins and make them into a quarterback that can win games in this league. And then with Farhan, it's like he can get you Yaz. He can find all these guys on the margins, Lamont Wade, and get them to overperform for a year or two. But he hasn't shown any track record of being able to develop young like Matos and all of our youngins. So that's a little concerning.
I was surprised to hear that Farhan talked about Matos going to start off in Double-A next year. He didn't do much in High A, so I'm kind of surprised.
I think they got to move him up, and hopefully he's going to be in the Arizona Fall League, I believe.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
So I'm going to go check him out, and also Bednar is in this new guy Carson Wisenhunt that they just drafted. So I'm going to check these guys out. Check some games out and, see some of these young guys. So anybody else want to call in and join Romo and Jaguayo who are in? We've got room. We've got room for one or two more.
Room. I mean, do you guys want to talk a little football ahead of tomorrow? I mean, you guys are leading the chat today.
Up to you guys. What do you got, Jaguayo? You still with us, Jaguayo?
Is he still there? I don't know if he's still with us. Maybe he's muted. I don't know.
Oh, Jaguayo might be. Yeah.
Check your mute button, Jaguayo. You might be snacking.
49ers wants to.
Come on in. Let's put the thing up in the chat here again.
Yeah, I'll send it in again. 49ers, why don't you come in, talk a little ball? I'm trying to figure out right now, Dan and I were talking about it earlier, we're trying to figure out what the play is for Survivor this week. And is it anybody aside from the Packers? Because, this is like the scariest week to be gambling I've seen in a bit. Every game could go either way. I honestly think my advice would be to anybody out there looking to gamble on the games tomorrow to do a round robin of just a bunch of live dogs, and just because a couple of them are going to hit. Tomorrow's going to be a funky day for sure. I think a new Jaguayo's back.
I thought he was back. I heard him. There he is.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh. No, I was just going to say about the Niners.
Yes.
The only thing that I can, I always harp on is when we run 30 times or more, we're pretty successful. You can't run as a running team 19 times and expect Jimmy to have the same kind of play action to keep those guys, the linebackers, honest and to create the open space that he needs to do over the middle. There's no way, and I don't know if one thing that I've noticed is, does Shanahan, can't he pivot from, if they're putting 8-9 guys on the box, can't he pivot out of there and go to a throwing game? I don't understand why he can't do that. Okay, everybody and their mother knows that we're a running team, and if they're going to start, last year we ran it against them anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that about that. That's
I name drop here, but I was talking to Jeff Wilson about this in the locker room, and I was like, so what, is there any sort, because I think a big part about football, you're seeing it with the Raiders right now, is you got to figure out your identity. And sometimes it takes teams a little bit of time to figure that out. Last year, they figured it out that first Rams game where they realized we're just going to be a team that is tougher than you, and we're going to run the hell out of this ball, and we're going to control time of possession and all this stuff. This year, I kind of asked him, is it same? And he's like, yeah, no, it's not changing. But I agree with you, Jaguayo. I think that I would like to see some more throwing on early downs, because Jimmy just is not, Jimmy's Jimmy. Jimmy's Jimmy. And if the run game's not going, it wasn't, they had the 1 for 18, 1 for 30 plus. And then other than that, it was under 2 yards a carry. So if it's, run, now you got maybe a penalty. Now you got 3rd and 12 with Jimmy. You're putting him in a tough spot for his talent. So it's I would like to see some more passing on first down. But, I also understand that there's a demoralizing aspect to them just going back and back to the running game and just running the hell out of the ball. And even though they know it's coming and you can't stop it, and that's a horrible feeling. Oh, wow. I think we might have a new fan in the green room.
Hey, yeah, maybe this guy, who is this guy?
Hey, first-time caller, long-time listener.
Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Where you live?
Wondering,
Where do you live?
Could we try? I live in Mesa, Arizona, in an over 55 place.
Okay, great. Hey, you're in Mesa.
I'm actually on the HOA board.
Are you? Great. What's your first name?
My name is. I go by Hal. Hal.
Hey, Hal. Thanks for doing this.
Funny thing is, I tell everybody I'm Hal and I'm your pal.
That's great, man. That's probably how you got voted on.
And it goes over well at the HOA. I'm thinking about running for sergeant at arms. You get to stand next to the door.
Sergeant at arms.
You get a chance to stand next to the door, and they let you hold a shield and a sword.
That's awesome. Well, Hal, thanks for joining us. We're having fan appreciation night. Are you a member?
Did you guys see my fan appreciation tweet?
No.
No.
Oh my God!
You can see it and appreciate it.
Let me see.
Let me see if I can
I
find it.
don't know who this Joker is, but he sounds like a slacker.
Let me tell you, Larry, you're slacker. You don't work hard.
Man, you're lazy.
You're lazy.
You're lazy. You think you work hard. The youth has been wasted on the young, Larry. You're lazy. You've always been lazy. Yeah. So I basically, our good friend Dieter. Remember Dieter?
Oh, yeah.
You guys know Dieter, right?
Yeah.
Dieter said the Giants are the hottest team in baseball, and I can't help but fear the organization is going to take the wrong lesson from this late push to nothing. Yep. I saw Danny respond, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I got to respond as well. So I said, they're set for 23. Time to run it back with the same crew. Don't need wholesale changes. Don't need new leadership. Just a little tinkering, and they'll be back on top. And then I said, so delusional. Farhan talks big, delivers small. Cap is a wannabe intellectual who's an insecure phony. And then I tagged it with hashtag SF Giants. And as Johnny Groove would say, you're lazy, Larry. You're lazy. So that was my lazy take. But this is the hottest team in baseball. Break them up. You guys, do they win today? I didn't even watch today.
No, they're out. They finally had their final funeral. They're laid to rest. Actually, we put a fork in them back in was it July or August?
Yeah.
We put a fork in them. I think it was July. But they are officially dead now. Now it's between Milwaukee and Philadelphia. Who would you guys like to see make it? Want to see the Phillies make it or the Brewers?
That's good.
Brewers.
Probably the Phillies. Probably the Phillies. I think there's some drama in watching Schwarber hit bombs.
And you know Trading Danny, right? You know the guy that's always coming up with wild trades?
Right. What do you got
another
tonight?
Scenario I was thinking the other day. Just think if the Phillies choke and don't make it and the Brewers overrun them. Could the Giants in the
not Harper
try and go get Harper? I mean,
I'm kind of happy with what we've got with Ford Proctor, and I'd like to give Ford. I don't want to block Ford. I mean, that's my biggest fear is not that we'll compete. It's that we may block Ford. And I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I felt Ford was blocked.
Oh, that would be a great t-shirt. Built Ford tough. And there's just Ford
brother.
No, Ford Proctor is he's an infielder, right? So that doesn't even make sense. But I will say, I don't think they're getting rid of Harper anytime soon.
Well, the Brewers.
Have you guys talked at all? What do you guys? I mean, we're all Giants people here. I joke about them and I rip them. Well, I don't. I'm a lifelong Giants fan, so I'm going to be a Giants fan next year too. Even though they were horseshit this year, and they talked a big game, and I mean, they let the Dodgers spend more money and then they spent a higher percentage of their revenue. To me, they were done on opening day, just on that alone. But,
that's the best. Sorry, that's just written so well.
What's that?
You're lazy, Larry.
You're lazy. Johnny F. Groove says you're lazy, Larry. You're lazy. But what would you guys like to see? I mean, outside of just get Judge no matter what. I mean, would you pony up just the big cash that it's going to take? Is Judge the answer? I mean, I know that Aaron Judge is the answer for the business problems. Mm-hmm. Is he the answer for the baseball problems?
Well, he's part of the equation. He's not the answer. He would be a.
Are we keeping Rodon?
What kind of protection would Judge have in this lineup? I mean, even with the Yankees, I mean, they're not really smashing the ball too much right now.
That's a very underrated thing.
In front of him, and
Eric's totally right. Judge would walk a billion times in this lineup.
Billions. I mean, he's got maybe
that's the way it should be built. Come watch Aaron Judge, take on Barry Bonds' intentional walk record. Yeah. It's going to be scintillating. And then a manager just being like, oh my God, what a show.
The Phillies lost the first game of a doubleheader today. They're in a dead heat, the Brewers and the Phillies. Phillies are going to win game 2. They're up 9-1 in the
8-2. It's 8-2, bottom 9.
Bottom of 9. So put a win column of the Phillies. The Brewers are up 3-2 in the top.
Who's up in that standings? Let's see the standings.
They're dead tied. They're dead tied right now.
Wow.
So
that's going to
go to the last 3 games. And what's interesting is,
do we know the matchups yet? Where are we in the matchups?
Well,
do we know who's matching up with who?
Get a bye. So it'll be 3 against 6 and 4 against 5. So it'll be the wild card will be the Mets or the Braves hosting probably San Diego. And then Cardinals will play either the Brewers or Phillies.
Okay. That should be a pretty good series. Cardinals won again today, right? They're at 91 wins.
Yeah. Oh boy, look, it's food time, and my wife.
Wow, the Brewers are 84 wins. Mid-80s is getting you in the playoffs. Do you guys like that? Do you like a mid-80s win team?
I mean, that's why we all thought the Giants would make it.
Yeah. Look at this, guys.
I don't like
eat healthy. Look at that.
What do you got? What is that?
That's a loud salad.
It's a salad? I think are things on you and the wife on the outs or what?
No, this is what I have for dinner usually.
She said mix in a salad every century or something.
I do a salad at night.
Does it even make sense for a man who has completes in the cupboard to even ever bother with a salad? Right? I mean, think about it. Whatever positive steps you're getting out of the salad, you're reversing that times 4.5 times with 1 completes, and you got a lifetime supply. What is that? Is that balsamic?
Yeah.
You're just going straight vinegar? You're not even going to mix it with a little oil? Damn, you're a badass.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. This guy's going straight balsamic vinegar. You're not even going to mix it up with a little oil and vinegar?
Hey, you know what? I should try a little oil.
A little oil. I could see it just if you had just glaze, possibly, but you need a little. Oh, you got peer pressure.
You got to mix in a little olive oil.
Yeah, you got to have some olive oil in that stuff.
I'm gagging on my salads.
Yeah, my God. Yeah. A bite of salad is not supposed to make you wince. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Have you noticed in salad, nobody ever goes. Oh, it's not a salad. Is not supposed to be jarring.
Wait, like the bitter beer taste.
Are you guys watching
olive oil, kid?
Larry, do you have the Georgia game up on your TV right now?
Georgia's losing to Mizzou. I almost bet them.
Mizzou just hit a 52-yard field goal.
Dude, you know what the spread is in that? It's 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was 4 touchdowns. Trust me, I'm looking at the live.
What's it on? Is it on ESPN or what's it on?
It's on ESPN.
Oh,
No, it's
crap.
on SEC. No, excuse me. I stand corrected. Like a man in orthopedic shoes, as Tommy used to say. SEC Network. SEC Network.
I have Dish Network, right? And they just got ESPN. They just dropped ESPN because of the contract. Yeah.
Then you may want to drop Dish Network.
I know.
Though ESPN is besides the games, is there anything on ESPN that's worth a damn? I mean, let's be totally honest. What?
Oh, I still like First Take every once in a while. It's like Subway. It's like when you want Subway, you have some Subway, but it's not a good sandwich.
I mean, I don't know. To me, it's PTI. I like PTI. That's the only thing that's even great. That's pretty good. The rest of their stuff is just garbage.
What's beeping? Somebody backing up?
Someone's fire alarm going on.
Yeah, seriously, we got an 18-wheeler. It's like a muni bus backing up now. Is that a new sound that Ringo makes?
Thanks for the olive oil tip. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, look at you. You were going straight balsamic to your melon.
I've been doing that for a long time too.
My God, you're an Italian. Mix in a little olive oil, kid.
Exactly.
My God, do I gotta hold your hand? You know what? A little salt and pepper ain't bad in that bad boy either.
I got some. What are these? Hemp seeds or something like that? Huh?
Oh, look at she's trying to squeeze some healthy seeds into you. She's like, this guy's going to the finish line whether he likes it or not. I'm giving him some seeds.
Georgia's live line is still -6.5. That is
There you go. Look at those babies.
It's not like their offense is that incredible. I mean, Bennett.
Are you guys wagering today? What are you wagering? Hemp hearts. Look at Danny with the hemp hearts.
I want to hop in on this Georgia action, but I'm scared.
Really? What's it? Hold on. Let me.
I got a 2-teamer rolling right now. I went. I feel like if I say it, I may jinx it. But
No, I'll hop in with you.
Well, okay. So I got a 2-team teaser. I'll tell you what I got. Tell me what you think of this. Without looking at the scoreboard, one game.
Your dog took a while, or Eric?
Yeah, neighbor across the street.
Neighbor, tell him we're on live. Go tell that dog to shut up.
God. I mean, that sounds like the dog from Fletch.
Take the camera with you.
Yell out the window, defenseless babies.
Take the camera with you. Come on. Have some
someone else.
Hey,
There's a guy walking another dog, and it doesn't like it.
say, hey, I'm
God
doing a live show. It's the only thing happening here in Galt.
Yeah.
That's true.
Hey, thanks for walking by my house at 7:00. This is when I start my BB gun practice. Pick up the pace. No, this is what I went with. I went 2-team 7.5 point teaser. I went Clemson at home against NC State +1.
Oh, that's a lock.
They're up 20-10 right now, but NC State's in the red zone. Then I went Oregon tonight at Autzen against Stanford, and I'm giving 9.5. Stanford is playing no Emmitt Smith's kid is out. What's the NC State's going for a field goal here? 49-yard attempt from the Bear Claw. Oh, you know it. If I bet against a team, the field goal kicker's like 100%. Seriously, if I ever bet a team and they go for a field goal, the other team goes for a field goal. I'd love to see the percentages on that. It's like I don't think I've ever seen a missed field goal against me when I'm wagering. Yeah, so he makes this for fun. If I bet the over, that probably misses. So now it's 20-13. But anyway, then Stanford doesn't have their 2 starting tackles going tonight and no EJ Smith.
Oh,
so at Autzen, Ducks by 9.5. They got to basically win by 10. What do you think?
I mean, I'm not a college football expert at all, so I sounds good. I like the handicap you just gave me.
We'll see.
Stanford's kind of a poo-poo bowl. Larry, I got to get your take on the slate this week for NFL because I'm really excited because we don't have to do our Niners coverage, so we get to sit back and watch the whole league. And this is about
And by the way, I think we've gotten the okay to stream from the stadium from the Krueg Show, leading into the Monday night affair. So that could be fun.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll play all of our interviews. We'll talk a lot of Niners and leading into the Monday Nighter.
Media members away. But yeah, so Laird, this is about as wonky a week as I've seen. And it started because I'm still in that Survivor League with Dan's nephew. I'm one of 3 people left somehow. There's like 40 to start. I'm not even trying to brag here. It's just been an apocalypse. I got lucky. I bet Washington. I picked Washington week 1 of the Survivor versus Jacksonville, which in hindsight was insane. So I was like, I guess the Packers are kind of the only lock this week. And if you look at the slate, I mean, it is just trap game after trap game after trap game. And really the only betting advice I would give is like, like a round robin. I would do a round robin of just a bunch of underdogs you like at plus money, just on the money line. Because I think we're going to see a bunch of craziness. I mean, I think Denver. That's my strongest play of the week. I think Denver beats the Raiders, and the Raiders go 0-4,
and they'll be 0-5 if they lose.
Wow,
tomorrow.
Really? You think Denver beats the Raiders?
Yeah, think about. Listen, what do you think about this logic? So, because normally, if there is a spot like this where it's like, okay, all hands on deck, max motivation, all of that kind of stuff, I would always either stay away or bet on that team. But I think there's an equal possibility that if things start going a little rough in this game, that the pressure gets to them and actually becomes a negative, and they could kind of implode. So if you even both of those out, I just think that Denver's a better team. They shouldn't be a 3-point underdog in Vegas, especially with their crowd
I'm scrolling through looking for the SEC network, and I just found Naked and Afraid, and Antonio Brown's on.
Oh God.
it is a tough week for sure.
You could talk me into anything happening.
Well, even I'll say this: the London. Let's talk about the London game. There's a game in London at 6:30 in the morning on Sunday. It's Vikings Saints. Now, I did see a number the other day that said that the home team has an overwhelming cover streak going in those London games.
Do you mean?
Which is interesting because it's a neutral site.
Oh, is it home or is it?
No, I mean the favored team. The favorites, I should say.
Yeah, I saw that. It was like 75%. And I think the thing with that is it's similar to the Thursday night game. When all these games that are out of country, there's so much craziness going on with the travel and all of that kind of the coaching and the game plan gets lessened, and it's more about just players and who's more talented. So I think that contributes to why. But I'm scared of Kirk Cousins. Again, we said it.
Yeah, they're not playing well. But I mean, they need a Jefferson bounce back. They're down to Madison at running back. That's a tough one. I mean, on first blush, I would say, man, I like the Cowboys at home against Washington, but it's a division game. So that always scares me. I'd like to see how Dallas has fared against Washington. I like the way Cooper Rush is playing. I like the way Dallas's defense looked. But Dallas is on the short week. But they're only giving 3 at home to a Commanders team that they're probably better than. The under probably is the play there. It's 41.5. I kind of like the Lions at home against the Seahawks.
They're missing. I mean, St. Brown's out, Swift's out, Chark's out. Like they've got cluster injuries.
Yeah,
so you could make the argument on any side. I kind of like the Browns. I think the Browns.
I think the Bears are a better team than the Giants, and that game's at MetLife. But that's a garbage bowl.
That's a garbage bowl. I actually like
Jaguars are playing well, but the Eagles are at home. Yep. That probably is an Eagles win. I could see the Eagles winning by 10. And that's
Bills. Bills are going to be exhausted coming off that week, and apparently it's 20-mile-per-hour winds, which might lend towards the Ravens running and then how about the Texans Chargers? I actually think
like the Jets with Zach Wilson coming back in Pittsburgh.
That's a good if you believe that Zach Wilson's going to come back and be good, like this is a good game to bet on it.
Yeah, I guess if I had to go straight bets on this, I like Buffalo in Baltimore. I know Baltimore is really good, but Buffalo's only a 3-point favorite there. And
where there's 20-mile-per-hour winds apparently.
Yeah, so maybe the play is the under.
Yeah.
It's 51 is the over under.
Mm.
I guess if I'm thinking about wagering this week, I mean, I got to stay away from the Niners just because I just can't bet the Niners. So that I just can't. That one I just put a line through. I think the Chiefs bounce back in Tampa. Tom Brady's not moving well. His O-line's not great. They have a downfield-based passing attack, and here come the Chiefs off a loss.
And their family, they're worried about their families in the hurricane. That's one for me. I'm just stay away.
Night game. I like Kansas City there. I like Kansas City's a way better team. To me, the Chiefs. I mean, I know they lost last week to the Colts, but the Chiefs, I like over the Bucks, and Broncos feel for that because of the.
All right, Larry's frozen, I think. Hey, does anybody else? I'm looking.
He's back.
Oh yeah, Larry. I think you froze a little bit there. You're back though.
Okay, I was saying maybe a teaser: Chiefs, Packers. Chiefs, Packers.
I'm scared of teasing
I
this
just went to
week.
plug in the SEC network.
Chiefs, Packers. I think I might go Chiefs, Packers, Eagles. I mean, think about it. You can get the Eagles at either plus or even money at home. I mean, no spread, I should say, against the Jags. That's probably a winner. And then Packers minus, you can turn that minus 9.5 to like a -2 if you go 7.5 point teaser. That's pretty much a lock. And then the Chiefs getting 8.5 against Tampa. Yeah, I like that. I think I might go Chiefs, Packers, Eagles on the tease.
I'm so scared of teasing this week. I mean, give me 3 underdogs you think are like viable, money line winners. Because I like Denver. Denver's a nice juicy 3-point underdog, so they got a nice little money line. And I like the Texans. I think the Chargers are they're a below average team at this point with how Herbert is. And I don't think people are really realizing that. Texans at home, they've been in every game. I like that. I mean, it's 5.5. I like them as a live dog.
I mean, Panthers at home against the Cardinals getting a point. That sounds good to me.
Yeah. That's another one though. It's like if it starts going bad, it could be like, holy crap, Matt Rule knows it's over, and they.
I like the Jets against the Steelers at Heinz Field.
Yep, I like that.
I told you I like the Bears. I think the Bears. I think the Bears are the better team between the Giants and the Bears.
Yeah, here's something that's
a little bit of a coin flip game.
I look for the SEC network, right, to check the Georgia game out. Our contract with Disney is expired, so it affects the ACC network, the SEC network, and the Longhorn network. How is Dish? You don't have ESPN. You don't have nothing. The SEC network. Disney owns everything, don't they?
Pretty much.
Yeah, my poor grandmother was trying to watch Dancing with the Stars, and now she needs to open up Disney Plus in order to do it, and it's just a disaster. There's no way she can figure it out. It's just no longer an option for her.
Yeah, it's a real pain. Hey, I got a conspiracy theory here.
All right.
Oh, all right. I love a good conspiracy theory.
Well, how we've invited
can you finish eating and then maybe get back to us, or
Jeff Wilson over here?
I mean, seriously,
you know how MF is. I talked to him earlier through Twitter direct message. He said he was going to join.
What are you drinking, by the way? You're holding up your drink like it's like you're toasting us.
Water.
So to the chat. To the chat.
Hey, to the chat. So
to the
MF,
chat. Why don't we toast, everybody? Hey, let's toast. Here we go to the chat. To the chat, to Dan Coach Emilio in the chat, to Giants baseball, and to the incredible job Gabe Kapler did this year. He's a terrific human being, as genuine as they come.
So MF, we've invited on.
He's watching Hocus Pocus 2 with his family. He said
we've asked him to come on several times. He said he wanted to come on, but he's never come on. And then when I look at our fantasy football league, he's made more deals than anybody.
And
I think MF is Farhan.
Who's second? You?
Yeah, I'm second, but I think MF
you were second.
I think MF is Farhan. That's why he's been name dropping us.
Man.
Hey, you're gonna bring on Ned. Hey, you're gonna bring in all these guys.
You think that's Farhan's? So Farhan had that one night where he was donating huge to the Krueg Show.
Yeah.
Trying to buy us.
And he hasn't. So I want to see MF or hear MF come on in and hear his voice.
You think he's catfishing us?
He might be.
Ask him if he knows Manti Te'o. Ask him if he knows Manti Te'o. If he says yes, it'll be a dead giveaway.
Does MF exist? Is he a?
Is he a figment of our imagination?
Yeah.
He just added George
who
Pickens
was it
and
that had
dropped
a fake
Tevin Coleman.
girlfriend?
First of all, who has Tevin Coleman? By the way, I mean seriously, in fantasy, who has Tevin Coleman?
MF has him now.
Tevin Coleman's family doesn't have Tevin Coleman.
Larry, you realize I traded I really wanted Bateman because I wanted to stack him with Lamar. So I traded Hollywood away for Bateman. Then Hollywood gets 17 targets, 14 receptions for 140. Then MF turns around and trades him to Dan for Trevor Lawrence.
With Zach Wilson on free agency, you could have had Zach Wilson, who I think is going to go off. In fact, I'm going to pick up Zach Wilson as we speak.
I'm going to beat you to it.
Oh, come on, Dan. Don't be that guy.
It's like savvy stormtroopers.
Nobody likes that guy, Dan. Don't be that guy, Dan. Come on.
Come on. I want to see you finish below me.
I can't even get into my. How do I? There we go. Come on. Are you really going to try to add him before I add him? That's that's it. That is it. I'm gonna call your HOA and discuss your personal dealings. Do you realize he's got enough completes to blow up that entire complex? Do you realize that? Do you ladies know that you're living next to a ticking time bomb?
Oh, wow. Georgie. Doug Peterson revenge game. That's true. Yeah, I mean, we have not seen the Eagles play from behind at all, so I'm still dubious. Color me dubious.
He did. Danny just picked up Zach Wilson. That's unbelievable. You're a bad human being.
You want to trade for him?
Next time I see your ass, I'm gonna Tommy Pham your ass.
Wait, do you think?
Those women at the HOA are going to be wearing "Don't fuck with Dan" T-shirts because
wait.
Showing solidarity. He picked up Zach Wilson.
This Missouri kicker is a brick shithouse. That guy is massive. Oh my God, he's going for a 55-yarder.
Oh, do you have that game?
Yeah. Fuck.
You make it?
Yes.
Jesus. Dude, Georgia could be going down. They're going to lose a national championship today.
Oh, my God. They just gave up a bet 52 and 55 in college. I mean, that is that's all you can ask for is to force them into that's insane.
Let me see, Larry.
Kickers are kicking.
I'll give you
too.
Oh,
let me see.
Danny just cut loose Hunter Renfrow to make that move. Hunter Renfrow was like a terrific fantasy player last year. If I were you, I might want to try to get him back.
He's no Matt Collins.
Matt Collins is on the Krugerrands bench. I am needing a win, even though I joke. I could use a win this weekend.
All right, Larry.
I'm playing Justin's great team.
I'll give you Zach Wilson for where the heck are the Krugerrands? How about Justin Jefferson?
Yeah. How about fuck off?
Oh, man.
Is this thing stuck or what? How about go straight to hell and don't pass go and collect your $200?
You know what goes good with a salad?
A nice piece
HOA
of
meeting?
cake. Nice piece of chocolate cake, huh?
What's on the top there? What do you got on the top there?
Necessarily.
Little, what are these called? Little, I don't know what the heck they are. They're
Do you and the wife always dine alone like this?
Dine alone?
Yeah.
Dining alone.
We usually eat together.
Right there. I don't see her.
On the other side.
So we still dine as a family.
Yeah, my wife and I, we eat together, but I'm on the show. We don't usually do a 6 o'clock show.
Look at that guy. He's a star.
So
Jesus.
Pick interception, Clemson, midfield, NC State.
I thought you were gonna say.
I saw Ryan.
that really stinks. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go into my Roku, and I'm going to see if I can download the SEC network.
Dan, I actually could show you how. You probably wouldn't be able to do it. Let's be honest. But your big long run for Georgia. Your gambling site problem. You know your gambling site, Dan.
Yeah.
You know how I showed you how to go into live betting.
Yeah.
So if you go into live betting, there's an option that says live TV in red.
Yeah.
And if you click on that, there's actually feeds of all the games illegally streamed. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's
currently what I'm doing.
Let me see here. Come on. I like to search. All right. Let's see if the SEC.
So are you guys getting up for the
Viking Saints?
Yeah.
You know what? It's a tad on the early side, but I'll get up. That might be when I might just be coming in at that point. Yes. If this were like New Orleans.
Do you think Farhan would do that? What I just did? Like he hears you. I think I'm interested in.
Yeah. No, I think he lacks ethics like you.
I just did it because it's Larry Kruger. You know,
people in 55 and other communities do the damnedest things. They do the damnedest things. They've got chicken that you don't put in the fridge. You know, seriously. I mean, oh, look at the hole. We can go back to the videotape.
Come on, MF. Come on in, MF. Where are you? I just made a trade. I might have made
Mark
a trade
Graves
with
said he needs USC and Oregon to cover for my parlay. The only thing about SC is that's a big number, isn't it?
Sorry.
What's the number on the SC game?
I don't even. Who are they playing?
Was it 9.5?
They got.
Who are they playing?
They've got Arizona State at home at the Coliseum. It's 9.5. It's 24.5.
Yeah, 24. Yeah, I was
24.5. I like SC this year too, but I can't give 24.5.
No,
there's just too
many. Defense isn't good
Arizona
enough.
State.
There's too many ways to lose. There's too many ways you can lose.
Herm Edwards is been replaced. Maybe they're going to be a little fired up tonight. Maybe.
You know who I wanted to bet and I didn't, and I've been betting them all year, and I'm like, I shied away. Is Utah. Utah is just absolutely on a cover train. 42-16 over Oregon State. That game was 14-7 at the end of the first quarter, and then all of a sudden Utah just blew up.
I bet the hell out of them in like every sort of like over wins and winning the Pac-12, and that first. I mean, they should have beat Florida. That was just like
my Aggies died in Starkville today. My God. 42-24. Just so disappointing. So disappointing.
Oh my God.
How about TCU crushing Oklahoma today? 55-24.
Not what
By the way, another game I wanted to bet that I didn't bet. Two of them I really loved. I loved Wake Forest against Florida State. And Wake Forest was getting points. In Tallahassee, 31-21 Wake, and then K-State owns. They're good. I mean, K-State I think is really a pretty good football team. They beat Texas Tech in Manhattan, 37-28. You know, it's pretty good. It's the former Nebraska quarterback, Adrian Martinez. He ran for 171 yards today and 3 touchdowns.
Oh my God, Georgia
quarterback.
He for who?
Ran for 14 yards a pop. Adrian Martinez, the former Nebraska quarterback, against Texas Tech today, 12-19 for 116 and a touchdown in the air. On the ground, 12 runs for 171 and 3 touchdowns. K-State is don't mess around with K-State.
This is the game right here for Georgia.
They're down 22-12.
I know, but they're 4th and 1 in the red zone. And they got it.
What's the score?
Oh, they're going to win that game.
Oh, now it's going to be
22-7, 22-18.
Oh, they're down?
22-19.
They're
within a field goal.
Down by 3.
Wow, that was a ballsy call. Wow.
Talk about no-showing that game. They were down 16-6 at half.
Ugh. I mean, I can't believe that kicker. The second I saw how big of a unit he was, I knew it was going in.
Do you know what's going to be a good game is Michigan, Ohio State.
Oh, hell yeah. I also hammered Michigan's over. They don't play anyone all year except for Ohio State.
To put 27 on Iowa in Iowa, that's pretty good. Iowa's defense is legit.
Oh, Ringy. Shoot. What other craziness is occurring? I'm trying to think. So, I mean, I don't know. Have your guys' thoughts changed at all about this Niners-Rams game? I mean,
I got the Niners 59-6.
What do you guys? What have you guys said about it so far?
We haven't said anything.
Yeah, I got them. I got the Niners 59-6.
That's
Garoppolo.
like some of those MF scores.
That's a Chardall.
Chardall. I mean, by the way, where's Chardall? Chardall could be cooking right now.
Yeah, Chardall, man, this was the time. This was your time to come in and run the Krueg Show for at least 5 to 10 minutes. You could have had your say. We would have went in any direction you wanted to go. But hey, we actually.
By the way, the Rams starting guard David Edwards entered the concussion protocol, so he's out Monday night.
I mean,
I think the Niners D-line has a major advantage on the Rams O-line. Bobby Evans is going to replace Edwards at guard. So, I mean, the Niner D-line should set the tempo in this thing. And then the big question is, how much better are the 49ers in the secondary? They could not cover Cooper Kupp in the NFC Championship game. Can they cover him this week?
Nah, they won't be able to. But as long as they hold everyone else down, I guess. I mean, I don't think Akers is going to get going at all either. I actually, it'd be an interesting bet would be like Stafford versus Jimmy G QBR. Who has the better QBR this week? Because I honestly think that Stafford is going to be under so much more duress. It's going to be he's going to cough a couple up.
I think there's a good chance Stafford throws a couple picks. But the thing is, Jimmy's playing so bad. Is he just gonna 1 week of practice after that last week's nightmare? I mean, he was terrible last week. Terrible. I mean, there's just no. People are like, well, he could be rusty. It's like, well, so now we got a million built-in excuses. He might not know the offense. Let's blame somebody else. How about Jimmy sucked? How about Jimmy was crappy? How about Jimmy? I mean, Greg Cosell said it this week. Even passes that he completed, he wasn't sharp on. He wasn't sharp all night. He really wasn't. So. I've watched that Denver game 3 times now, and it's like every time I watch it, it's like, show me the pass that Jimmy threw well. It was like, it's seriously, I mean, the guy may have thrown 2 accurate passes all night long.
The funny thing is he had 2 dimes. He had the dime to Jennings and then the dime to Juszczyk. And other than that,
the dime to Jennings, you could call it a dime, or you could call it, a stupid wide sideline pass that came within an inch of being picked. You know what I mean? Yeah, he got it in there, but the defender was all over him. And if the defender played that pass with a little bit more awareness, that's a pick. That's a sideline out to the wide side of the field that could have, was an inch away from being picked or an inch away from being incomplete. I mean, it was, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't even when a guy's as inaccurate as Garoppolo was the whole game, do you give him a ton of credit for being super accurate on that one pass, or do you call it lucky? It almost seemed like a lucky pass after watching the rest of them.
Yeah, I think it's just like classic Jimmy G, like all over the place. Like he will make some great plays, and then he'll have some horrible play. I mean, I just think in terms of his motivation, I think he probably was feeling himself a little bit after that first week and thought he could just roll into Denver and everything would be all right. I mean, the amount of criticism he's taken this week locally, I mean, he has to just stay off the internet and never turn on a radio and whatever. And, or else, I mean, I'll be impressed if he has a comeback kind of game.
Well, and the Niners are not running it well. I mean, don't be confused by the numbers. People look at the numbers and say, 4.6 a carry. They averaged 4.6 a carry. They had so many runs stuffed. I mean, Jeff Wilson had a 37-yard run. Otherwise, he's got 11 carries for what, 38 yards or something like that. I mean, it wasn't
one longer than 3, and he had a few for 0.
Yeah, so I'd like to see more Jordan Mason in the run game. I definitely would like to see them get, Ayuk going. That would be nice. And then, overall, I'm really interested to see how the Niners secondary plays against this Ram team. Allen Robinson's been very quiet, but Higbee, we know, is a really good tight end. They're using, we heard this on the drive down, they're using Skoranek, or at least did this week. Because he's got sticky hands and he can make a lot of good contested catches.
Larry cut out for a second. He was saying they've been using him as a fullback and just like essentially like what Juszczyk does sometimes. Like just an awesome receiving fullback.
Am I cutting out?
You cut out for a second, but mostly
I'm hardwired in here. Calba says, here's $10. Jimmy will miss open guys, make inaccurate passes, throw the inexplicable pass to the open defender in the middle of the field in the fourth quarter, but he'll be better this week and do just enough.
Yeah. There we go.
All right. I don't know. That takes all over the place. He'll miss open guys. He's terrible. He'll throw the pass he'll miss the open. He won't see the defenders, but he'll be better this week and he'll do just enough to win.
That's not even a take. That's just like that's just like a pretty accurate, probably prognostication.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Is the wrong team favored?
No.
Why would the 49ers be favored in this game?
Just max motivation. And I think that they're also, I don't know how much Levi's is worth as a home field, probably 2 points. So they're saying the Rams are a better team. I think it makes sense.
I mean, the Rams are the Super Bowl champions rolling in with, all their key figures. It just seems weird that the 49ers are favored when their offense is this bad. I mean, the Niners are 23rd and 28th points and yards, something like that. It's not been a good offense. I mean, the 49ers have scored 10 and lost, 27 and won, and 10 and lost. So what are they going to, and those are against defenses. Are the Broncos, Seahawks, and Bears defenses better than the Rams defense or worse?
I think that the Broncos is about on par, but in different ways.
I mean, none of those defenses don't have Ramsey, Donald, Bobby Wagner, Leonard Floyd, Ashawn Robinson. I don't know.
It's a division game, though. It's a
division game. And the Niners have had ownership against the Rams for sure, but I don't know.
We can say what's happened, but at least for me, if we're projecting what's likely to happen, I would say it's likely that they have a fantastic game offensively in comparison to the past few weeks. I think they put up 24.
Or maybe they're putting more faith in the Niners defense.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the Niners defense is kind of flying under the radar because you know, like nobody's talking about them nationally as like this all-time defense because of like, you know, if you look at the scores, you know, there was the Bears game where it was just some weirdness with the sloppy conditions, and then Seahawks game was awesome, and then the Broncos game, people are kind of blaming that more on Russell Wilson for not getting it together and Hackett. So I think that this week's going to be like the coming out party.
The most, you know, my only lean on this game is I feel like the under is probably pretty likely 42.5. I like under.
It's been in the primetime games. They've been pretty, you think 24.5 under, or sorry, 42.5
42.5 under.
So 24-20 is over.
Hey, I can't watch this game, Ryan, unless I make a bet within the last 72 hours. Is there any in-live game bets? There's nothing to place a bet on right now.
What about Georgia?
That's what I'm trying to do.
There's games going on.
Yeah, there's a ton.
I know. I'm trying to get an live in-game bet going so I can
you
watch
need to
it.
do that in order to.
Is an Oregon playing Stanford?
What's that?
To be live, Dan?
Is Oregon playing Stanford right now?
Yeah, they're playing. They're playing tonight.
I don't think it has to be live. Maybe I'll just.
Oregon starts at 8.
Oh,
then that's 27 minutes from now.
Oh.
Shoot, let me find a bet.
What do you guys think is the key to holding down the Rams? Is it Kupp? Is he the guy? Is he the main guy? If we hold him to 50, 60 yards and 6-7 completions, is that a recipe to win?
Yes.
Well, I mean, you know, here's the thing. Are the Rams going to get into another mano kind of battle with the Niners where they're trying to run it more than they should? If they do, that's advantage 49ers, you would think. I don't think the Rams will be able to run it on the 49ers, but they probably will try. So I personally think that the 49ers defense, you know, will hold down the Rams running game. The question is, can they move Stafford off the spot? Can they win enough up front? Can the Niner D-line be so dominant that Stafford is running for his life? Can they put consistent pressure on Stafford?
I'd be surprised.
That's a big question. If they can, advantage Niners, and I think they could win a close one. If they can't, I like the Rams to win.
Yeah,
because I'm worried about Armstead and Kinlaw's health, you know, and I don't know if the other guys, Givens and them, will be able to push the pocket.
Well, you know, one thing that Denver did that I'm hoping teams don't copy is Denver stayed with the run. Denver did not run it all that effectively, but they ran it 33 times, and they stayed with the run. And that means they dominated the time of possession, and they kept the 49er defense on the field, and they had a little bit of success running it. You know, Russell put together one drive, and it was all because the 49ers didn't have, you know, the 49ers lost the time of possession. I think it was like 81 plays to 46 plays or something like that. It was a dramatic difference. I'd like to see the 49ers do that to the Rams. Dominate the time of possession, run the ball, first downs, keep it out of Stafford's hands, give the Rams fewer possessions. But then in that situation, you got to play mistake-free football, and you got to be able to convert on third down. So ultimately, I think it's going to be another one of these head knockers where the Niners come out and run it on first and second down, and then hope that Garoppolo can complete enough passes on third down to keep them on the field. And if he can, they got a shot. If they can't, you know, that's going to be you know, advantage Rams. So those are the two factors. Can the Niners keep the Rams offense off the field, win the time of possession? One, and two, can they put heat off on Stafford and speed him up and make him move off of his spot? That's number two. And then, of course, you know, 3 and 4 are always penalties and turnovers. They lost game 1 against the Bears because of penalties. They lost game 3 against Denver because of turnovers. You know, they got to be somewhat in the ballpark penalty-wise and turnover-wise. This -3 crap, you're not beating anybody in the NFL, and you're sure as hell not beating a team like the Rams if you're -3 in turnovers. That can't happen. So you don't have to be +3, but it's got to be within 1, right? You got to be either +1, -1, something like that. You can't have a turnover disaster. You can't have a penalty disaster.
Hey, MF. MF, I see you got thoughts on Drake London. We want you to come in to the group. We want to see the real MF.
He's asking for our thoughts on Drake London. I'll give you my thoughts on Drake London.
It's Fan Appreciation Day. Oh, Georgia, down to the 12. Whoa.
Drake London does not get a lot of separation. He really doesn't. Like if you watch him run his routes, even going back to SC, he doesn't get a lot of separation on his routes. He just doesn't. But then you look up and you're like, like so far he's got 16 receptions in 3 games and a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, he looks better than I thought he would.
He has really good hands. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got really good hands. And the other thing is with the Rams, I was thinking, they don't have Von Miller. I think Von Miller made a big difference for them, and I don't know if that's going to help us out. That's going to help us out with McKivitz being there. And also the offensive line. Can we run the ball with this new line? I think Banks and Burford and Brendel, you could say Brendel's a new guy too. Yeah. I thought they played a lot better than I thought. I was more apprehensive going into the season as I am now, but I think this is a really big test right here.
Uh-oh. Touchdown. Is that a touchdown or down to the 1 yard line, Georgia? Dang.
Yeah, I think all those are good points, to be honest. I just was looking at the Rams box score last week against the Cardinals. The one thing that was interesting, the Cardinals won the time of possession. And that's the Cardinals thing, right? The Cardinals had 23 first downs, only 15 for the Rams. How about that?
Oh, did he get in?
The Cardinals had 365 total yards. The Rams only had 339.
Yeah, if you take away last year, I don't think the Rams have not impressed me at all this year. At all.
What were the turnovers last week with the Cardinals and the Rams? Who had the most?
It was Rams +1, I believe. Let me double check that.
Yeah,
it was. It was Rams -1. Rams -1. The Cardinals were +1.
Yeah, if you take out, I just don't think that Akers is going to get it going versus the Niners. So if they resort quickly to just passing, I think that the Niners are going to get so much heat on Stafford and they're going to sack the hell out of him. I think it's going to lend itself to the Niners owning time of possession, and their defense is going to be fresh, and the Rams defense is going to be tired out from all this freaking running and motion and
the one thing the Rams don't seem like they don't throw it to Henderson and Akers.
No.
Akers had no receptions last week. Henderson had no receptions last week. They combined for 1 target. So they're not throwing it to their backs.
That's kind of a shocking. That didn't look like a touchdown to me, Dan. I'll take it.
I didn't think so either. Clemson, the guy just overthrew it to outstretched arms. He had a TD. And
I'm watching this. Yeah, Clemson.
He dropped it.
When are they going to take out DJ?
Ugalele?
Yeah.
He had a great game last week. He was great last week.
I know, but he's just so inconsistent.
So Missouri's going to have the ball with the chance to come down and score. Now this is who's in the chat room again? Is he was in and out? Amen. The dream. Is this do we need to be careful? Is this It's not. Oh, okay.
Hey,
all right.
What's up, Amin?
What's up?
Amin the dream.
Oh, fire off some takes for us.
Look at that backdrop, man. I like that backdrop.
Nice.
Very familiar.
It's the same backdrop that you guys have.
You guys are the
What's
same
going on,
place.
man?
Nothing much, man. I hear you guys talking about the Rams and Niners game.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You got a breakdown. What do you think of our breakdown? I'm thinking move Stafford off the spot. Try to dominate time of possession. Try to keep Stafford and his high powered passing game, on the sidelines as much as possible. Try to eliminate. Maybe if the Niners can dominate time of possession, they might be able to eliminate 1 or 2 drives that they would have to play defense against Stafford. And, I'm a little concerned because is Armstead going to play? Is Kinlaw going to play?
I don't even think it matters.
You don't think it matters?
I don't think it matters. I think that the Rams O-line is so banged up that, the drop off from Armstead and Kinlaw to Givens. I mean, like we say, it's they've got 2 starting caliber lines. So I think they'll be fine. I think the boys will be ready.
So what you got? Where is MF, man? He's asking questions. Come on in, MF.
He's watching Hocus Pocus.
I'm questioning.
No, he just commented a minute ago.
What's your breakdown?
But it's MF. Hey, give me your, there's a lot of bots out there.
Hold on a second, Danny. Amin just walked in, and you're worried about who's not at the party. I'm more worried about who's at the party.
Yeah, well, tell me.
All right, don't be that.
You got any fantasy football moves you're thinking of, Larry?
Don't be that high school girl who's like, oh, you know who's not here? Sally's not here. Let's talk to Amin.
Let's talk to Amin. Okay,
let's talk to Amin. Amin, I like that. I like that dude. I mean, look at that thing. You got a pompadour going. You're a good-looking kid. Give me your breakdown, man. Give me your breakdown on Rams Niners.
Man, I mean, you look at what Jimmy Garoppolo, obviously at quarterback, came in last week. Offense didn't have the greatest performance last week. But the Niners, basically what you said, Larry, right? The Niners have to run the football effectively. Like you look at going back to last year and a lot of the games at the end of the year, the Niners would have like long drives where they would almost take up the whole first quarter, take up majority of the quarter by running the football and having long drives where you pound the football down the opposing defense's throats. And then Jimmy Garoppolo either throws a touchdown or a slant here and there. And that's just the way that the Niners win with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. So if the Niners really want to win this game, hold the time of possession, run the football down their throats like they do, and it's worked in the past. And Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, as long as he can play smart complementary football, doesn't make mistakes in crucial situations, the Niners should be able to win this game. The Rams offense isn't looking that great. It started off slow last year as well, and it's starting off slow a little bit right now. But if the Niners want to win this game, it's up to the offense. Can they run the football effectively? And can Jimmy Garoppolo limit his mistakes? And if the Niners do that, I think they have a pretty good chance of winning this game.
Yeah, that's good. Let me ask you guys this, and Amin and the rest of you guys, what do you guys want to see as far as the carries breakdown at the end of the night from the Niner backs? Like last week, I mean, you heard Shanahan say it, hey, we ran Jeff Wilson, but we had plans to run Mason. We had plans to run Marlon Mack. It's just, we didn't have enough series, and so those guys didn't get any run. I'd like to see J.P. Mason featured in the first quarter of this game. I would like to see him feed him 3 or 4 carries. I get it. He's young. I get it. He was an undrafted free agent. He looked terrific in the preseason. Give him 3 or 4 carries. See what he's got. Because if I'm right, he looks to be like a 230-pound guy who can just pound it, who bounces off tackles, runs through arm tackles. I think there's tremendous run power in what I've seen out of JP Mason. Now he runs upright. I am a little afraid of the big hit and the turnover, but I'm willing to take a chance here. Nothing against Jeff Wilson. I like Jeff Wilson. Nothing against any of their other backs. TDP. I like TDP. He's not healthy yet, but I'd like to see Mason and maybe even Marlon Mack get a couple carries. Who would you like to see? How would you like to see the carries split up?
I think I would like Wilson 10 to 12, Mason 6 to 8, Matt maybe 4, 5,
okay,
and maybe Devo about 4 or 5. But none of this fucking shit from the backfield. They know when he's back there, he's gonna get the ball. I don't want him doing that because they can tell right away what's gonna happen, and that's kind of the breakdown that I would like, and that kind of gets you to maybe the 30. Anytime we're up in the 30, 19 is not gonna do it. 19 is not gonna do it, and that's kind of the breakdown that I would like.
Here's my one thought on the Debo thing. What has been the difference between Debo this year and last year? It's that teams are anticipating Debo in the backfield. They're anticipating him getting the carries. Where is Debo unstoppable? He's unstoppable when he's got a head of steam. So I'd like to see them maybe fake the handoff to Debo and see if they can hit him on like a hot route where he's got 2 steps of movement and momentum going. And if they can squeeze him the ball on some passing options within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that because then, he doesn't have the entire defense keying on him. You spread things out. They got to defend everybody. Now maybe you could get Debo with some momentum on that second level. Because, if you give me Debo with momentum going down the field and he's already at that second level, man, I think he's a big play waiting to happen. If you hand it to him in the backfield, he's a big play waiting to happen if he can get beyond the line of scrimmage, if he can get north-south instead of going east-west. What we're seeing is they're getting him the ball in the backfield, and as he's going east-west, he's getting snuffed out. So I'd like to see them.
He just has to hit the crease.
And keep him away from the big bodies on the line of scrimmage. I know he's a runner and a receiver, but don't forget he's a receiver. So you wouldn't want to necessarily subject your receivers to hits by D ends, D tackles, right? Exactly. So if you can somehow get him the ball beyond that front line of defense, man, I really like the potential of Debo against any linebacker, any safety, any corner to either run around or run through. I just would like to minimize his hits by D ends and D tackles.
What do you guys think? I think it's as simple as I think Debo's going to be the exact same thing he was last year. I just think it was a function of they pretty much decided. I mean, despite what Kyle says, that it was going to be Jeff Wilson, and then the change of pace back was going to be Debo. And it wasn't like Debo's motioning into the backfield. Debo, we're not sure here. He might be going out for a route. He might be going for a fake reverse. They were just running him like a regular running back. And so, Jonathan Taylor gets stuffed sometimes when you run it 5 times. Derrick Henry gets stuffed when you run it 5 times. And maybe he would have broken one if you gave him 15 of those, but it was just that's what happens. It's not like he's Superman. He's not actually a better running back than like Taylor or Henry or any of these guys that get paid big bucks just to be backs. So, so I think it was just a function of they're just running average run plays with him. And
wouldn't surprise me tomorrow night or Monday night to see Jordan Mason get 8 to 10 carries.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
To see it.
That'd be great.
Love to see it.
I'd like 10 to 12.
Go ahead, Amin. What else? What's your other perspective on this thing?
Here's what I'll say about Debo Samuel. I think that he'll be used in the same way that he was last year. I don't know if he'll replicate that same success because what he did last year was historic. But like you kind of mentioned a little bit, Larry, that Debo Samuel last year, yes, he was using the backfield. We haven't seen that before. So when defenses would go up against it, it would be the first time going up against Debo Samuel in the backfield. And even if you go back to Lamar Jackson in that MVP season, Lamar Jackson had tearing up the league. And then the next year, Lamar Jackson was good, but he wasn't at MVP level because teams figured out what they like to do and what Lamar Jackson is. Same thing with Debo Samuel. I think he'll be used in the same way, but I don't know if he'll replicate that same success because teams know and they know what Kyle Shanahan likes to do on offense, and they'll kind of focus on Debo Samuel now compared to last year because last year, Debo Samuel, it was the first time we've seen him used in the backfield like that. In 2019, he was more used in jet sweeps. But that just shows you about Kyle Shanahan, like how Kyle Shanahan in that aspect of getting the most out of some of his players, especially his weapons, is ahead of the league. Because in 2019, he was running jet sweeps with Debo Samuel. In the year after, and even if you look at last year, now other teams are starting to use the receivers in jet sweeps and motions and things like that. And then Kyle Shanahan, obviously, last year started using Debo Samuel in the backfield. But I don't know.
Who do you think, Amin, he might who do you think his next breakout star is that he hasn't maybe showed too much?
I honestly don't know. I feel like Ayuk should have a great year, but now that Jimmy G's at quarterback, how often can Jimmy G get the ball to Brandon Ayuk? Ayuk, before the season started, where you saw the videos with him with Trey Lance, you saw it in training camp, all the clips with him and Trey Lance, and I thought maybe Ayuk potentially could have had more receiving yards than Debo Samuel this year because Trey Lance, we expected him to be the quarterback. But if I had to pick one, I would say maybe Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, I like Ayuk too. Hey, do you have your own channel? What do you do? Do you maybe we can promote it for you? What's your channel?
It's just my name, Amin the Dream. I talk about the Niners a lot, but yeah.
Nice. And what grade are you in? You in ninth grade?
Ninth grade.
Freshman?
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. I got a junior in high school and I got a 7th grader. So I got 2 right. And of course I got college kids too, or 1 out of college, 1 in college. So how long you been streaming? You've been streaming for 6 months, a year, longer? When
about
did you
a year
this?
now. About a year. Like I started it. I used to call in. Obviously, you do shows with Grant. I used to call in on the Cone phone a lot, and then I used to hop on other channels. And I decided to start my own channel.
Good for you, man. Good for you. How's it going? How's it going for you?
Good job. You're doing. You sound good.
It's going great. I mean, it's obvious. I do this for fun because I enjoy talking about football. So it's not necessarily like how some people might look at it as a job or like do it because they have to. Like I do it because I enjoy it. So like if I get home and I have a stream set up, like that's for me doing it. It's like it's fun, it's enjoyable, and I enjoy talking about football. But it's going good so far.
That's awesome. Now, does mom and dad try to like, hey, you know what? I mean, you can live stream, but you got to finish your geometry first, or you got to
definitely
you got to hit the homework first. Don't you know? Let's not lose focus on the big picture. Is that what they're saying to you?
Yeah, I mean, my mom and my dad are really supportive, but obviously they're
That's
like
cool.
Homework first, grades, make sure you get good grades. My dad's always like, if everything's fine with school, you could do as many streams as you want in the week, as long as you get all your homework done, test, get good grades and everything like that. So they're
very cool. And you're a lifelong Niner fan?
Yep.
Awesome.
That's
your whole
awesome.
family all Niner fans?
See, like half of my family's Niners fans, and then half of my family's Raiders fans. So it's kind of like divided. I personally I personally like the Niners side of my family more, but
what kind of shirt is that? Awesome. What kind of shirt is that? Look like a Seahawks shirt or something for a second. What are you wearing?
A regular t-shirt.
Oh, okay. I saw the blue stripe. I said, hey, he's a Niner fan. He's wearing a Seahawks shirt.
No, I would never.
He would never do that. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Now, do you stream? Do you have guests on your stream, or do you just take people in the chat? Like, do you have like 5 or 6 people on?
I usually do guests. So I usually schedule guests throughout the week and different things like that.
Who's some of your guests?
I've had Grant on before. I've had Barry Baller who's in the chat. I've had him on before. I've had Eric Crocker on before. Jack Hammer. I've had a lot of people on before. Jesse Naylor.
Cool. Very cool.
Hey, you know very what cool.
Hey, man, if you ever want me or Rye or Danny on, we'll gladly come on and boost you up. It's very cool.
Yeah, you're knowledgeable. I like your knowledge. I like you're quick on your feet. You know what you're talking about. There's one thing I wish you could do for me. Can you help me out?
Sure.
Danny's in a 55 and over club. Remember that.
What I need from you, I need some hair there. I need some of your hair, man. Look at this. Come on. Give me some of that hair, man. You got a lot to spare there, man.
I mean, Danny looked like this when we started this stream. All right. That's how quickly it goes. I mean, once again, we started the stream looking like that. Now, Danny, look at that.
This is what it'll do to you. Late nights, man. Listen to your parents. Stay on top of school.
You see that melanin, the first thing you're thinking is 8-ball corner pocket. You know what I mean? It's just
yeah.
No, we're just joking. But I mean, that's very cool. Now, do you have friends who also stream, or what gave you the idea to do it? Or you got to set this up like in the house somewhere. You got a green screen. You got room in the house to
Elgato like pop-up one.
Yeah, you go StreamYard.
I use StreamYard. Barry Baller said plug the show. So we have this show every Mondays. We swap channels with me, Barry Baller, Celts Chronicles, and
nice.
And we do the show called Straight Out of the Bay. And we do the show every Monday after Monday Night Football. And we switch channels every week. So
like 9 o'clock, 9:30?
Yeah. Around 9 o'clock. We usually do around 8:15. Obviously, tomorrow's and Monday's a Niners game. So we're going to do that after the Niners game. But yeah, we do that every Monday. It's a blast.
Oh,
very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Mark Graves. Amin's got more hair in his eyebrows than Dan has on top. Oh, let's not pick on Dan. He's a man who, before he had the completes, he had a full head of hair, and then a couple completes later, and now he's shiny.
Dan, you had hair like Amin when I was in 9th grade.
Did you?
I was not bad.
Not quite as tall.
I'll show you. I was not as tall, but I'll show you a picture here. I'll send one to Rye.
So, do you play sports too? Is there? What's your favorite sport?
I mean, I play football, basketball on the side. Not really that great, so I'm not gonna
It's all right.
sit up here and be
You're not going to the NBA. You're not playing in the NFL.
NBA, but I definitely enjoy playing sports. I like basketball and football primarily, but I definitely
Warriors.
See, I'm a Lakers fan, and my whole family.
Oh my God! Get him off the channel.
Seriously, yeah.
No, just kidding.
Let's just move him over here.
See, like my whole family is full of Warriors fans, and they and I get taunted for that. You have no idea how bad it was.
I had to mute him for a second. I had to mute him. He's a young kid. I hated to do it, but he's a Laker fan.
It's for his own good, Larry. It's for his own good, Larry.
Yeah, I mean, I cut you off from speaking because you're a Laker fan. And I don't want to pretend that it was anything but the fact that you're a Laker fan. All right. I mean, what happened? Why, instead of telling me what the hell happened?
I don't know. Like, for whatever reason, every other sport I'm with my family members, right? It's like Giants. I'm a Giants fan, Sharks fan, Niners fan. But for whatever reason,
wait,
I didn't want to be a Warriors fan. Like,
wait a minute, you're what? Like 14? Are you like 14 or 15?
15.
Okay,
15. Okay, so
I get it. I get what he's saying. You didn't want to. You grew up, and the Warriors were so good that you were like, I don't want to jump on the bandwagon with everyone else. Is that what it is?
You were like 8 when they won their first title.
The Lakers suck.
I can't even lie.
The Lakers. I bet them under last year was 52.5.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
I had a party to celebrate on opening night. I bet them under 52.5. I watched them opening night. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to cover for fun, and did.
See, the Lakers I don't know if any of you guys saw the clip of open practice today at the Lakers, but they were just chucking bricks up at the 3-point line. Like, it was not fun to watch at all whatsoever.
Let's peruse.
Hey, Amin, if I can arrange to
roster.
Get Steph Curry on your show, will you dish the Lakers and become a Warrior fan?
See, I'm loyal, so I will continue to root for my Lakers no matter how trash they are this year, and even last year they were, and I'll admit that. But I will continue to be loyal to my Lakers. So.
Look at that! I like that.
You never lived in Southern California or anything, did you?
I'm in California. I live I go to school almost 10 minutes away from Levi, so I live.
Yeah, so I mean, you never were in Southern California.
Warrior territory. This is
Warrior territory. Like,
how did that happen? Did something happen in the off season? Did you get a concussion like Tua? Did you fall down?
I think what Danny's trying to say is, who did this to you?
Nobody did this to me. I don't know. I would just naturally draw to the Lakers. I don't know.
Who was it? It was before they had LeBron, right?
Was it Kyle Kuzma's long sweaters? Was it Kyle Kuzma's long sweaters?
No, you know who it was? It was D'Angelo Russell's ice in the veins. That's what it was.
D'Angelo Russell. Danny's favorite. Danny's favorite NBA player. You know who it is. It's got to be Caruso, right?
Alex Caruso. The GOAT. The GOAT. That's what we call him. The GOAT.
No, seriously, the Caruso, the Italian guy, no hair. That's Danny's favorite guy. No, but okay, so Lakers, I'm looking at the Laker roster. This is what they have. This is their starting 5. Russell Westbrook, Kendrick Nunn, LeBron, AD, and Damian Jones. And then off the bench, Pat Bev, Schroeder, Austin Reeves, JTA, who's down there now. Who else they have? Thomas Bryant, Wenyen Gabriel. I mean, it's a real shit show on the back end. But yeah, I mean, Westbrook and Nunn is your backcourt.
And Schroeder.
It's not even looking good this year. I have very low. The expectations are very, very low for my Lakers team this year. I have zero expectations from this team.
And not even this year, but projecting out. I mean, all their first round picks are gone. Once LeBron leaves, then it's like, what? And Anthony Davis, you heard he had the same exact quote. It was almost word for word what he said last year coming into camp. I really spent time on my body, got it, was working on the strength and got it all right. And then I saw some compilation where it was literally last year. And then this year it was the same exact thing. So
Lakers, Niners, I bet you're not even a baseball fan at all.
I mean, I don't really watch baseball games.
Exactly. How did I know? I mean, am I reading minds or what?
I just can't sit through it. It's just a very. I only went to one baseball game in my entire life. It was a Giants game. A day before my birthday, we were playing the Orioles and we got killed. and it was such a boring game to watch. Like, we were getting killed by the Orioles. It was like 5-0. Half of the innings, nothing
So
happened.
are you a
Like,
Giants fan?
I am a Giants fan. Like, I watch playoff
right.
Giants when the Giants make the playoffs. Like, I watched the playoffs last year, and if there's nothing on television, I'll watch the Giants to pass time. But
did you hear that, Larry Bear? This is a ninth grader who's a big sports fan. He's such a sports fan that he has his own freaking live stream. He's got his own YouTube channel, and he's telling you the Giants are freaking boring, and he's seen them one time, and he's a freshman in high school. This is your problem, Larry Bear. Amin and people like Amin don't give a shit about baseball or the Giants. Sorry, Amin. I hate to swear in front of you, but there you go.
Come on.
I'm just trying. You're talking directly.
Parents are going to get all over you, Larry.
I know. Sorry about
that. I think you're looking forward to when Bronny comes up for the Lakers to play with his dad. Is that what
I don't even know if we're going to get Bronny. I think the Thunder probably have the best chance of getting Bronny James, or the Jazz potentially.
I think the Thunder owns every draft pick in the draft in the next 17 years.
I sent you some photos there, man. I'll show Amin how much hair I had.
Oh, let's see. This should be good. This is from Friday.
It'll take him a little bit of time.
This is how quick it can all go away. I mean, no. Well, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So here's my. Who would you say was most responsible for the Denver loss last week? Would you blame Shanahan? Would you blame the run game? Would you blame Garoppolo? Would you blame? I mean, it can't be the defense, right? You got to blame somebody on the offensive side of the ball.
At all. It's the offense. I would say part of it's Kyle Shanahan and part of it's Jimmy Garoppolo. Kyle Shanahan had some good play calls. Jimmy Garoppolo, there's one pass that a lot of people are looking at where Debo is running a streak down the field and Jimmy just missed it completely and didn't even look his way. I think Jimmy Garoppolo probably gets a lot of the blame for this game because Jimmy Garoppolo with that safety, a pick 8, and he threw a pick 6 on that play. Like, I'd rather have the safety than obviously the pick 6. And then Kyle Shanahan, I mean, obviously losing Mike McDaniels, it's going to be a transition for Kyle Shanahan. Now, I still believe in Kyle Shanahan, but it's obviously going to be a transition for Kyle Shanahan because Mike McDaniel has been there with Kyle Shanahan for almost every step of the way. Where in Washington, with the Falcons, he's been there every step of the way. So not having a guy like Mike McDaniel, obviously, is going to be a transition for Kyle Shanahan. But if I had to pinpoint at like who to blame in specific or like a player, I wouldn't say necessarily Jimmy Garoppolo
offense as a whole,
but I would just say as the offense as a whole, I think just didn't play well. And I said it after the game that when your defense only allows 9 points. Obviously, at the end of the game, it was 10-11. The 2 points came from Jimmy Garoppolo and his safety. But when your defense only allows 9 points and you can't win that game, that's just unexcusable.
Yeah. The only thing about it, though, that makes me a little nervous is the 49ers look almost ill-prepared for the season offensively. It was like Trey didn't look like oh, my God. That's Dan?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that hair. Dang.
That was Monday afternoon.
Looks like
that was Monday afternoon. And that's what completes do to you, ladies and gentlemen. Show that picture once again. That was from Monday. He had 2 of those complete dinners, and the rest is up to you.
Hey, show my ASU picture, my field goal.
That was Monday. I know those are sepia tones.
Show my ASU picture.
Right. Look, there's even braces here. Danny had braces.
Yeah.
God, somebody cared about this kid.
What a cute kid, huh? He looks
God.
Looks like he's going places.
His hair was like floppy in his eyes. Now look at it.
Jeez, look at that. Look what life did to me. Oh, my goodness.
That's before Back in Black. Okay, go ahead.
You should see me in college there, right? Got
I'm
one there.
trying to do it, Dan.
Hey, right there at Arizona State, man.
Hold on, pipe down. Chiguayo wants to say something to Amin. Chiguayo, yes, go ahead.
Amin, okay, answer me this. Where the hell is George Kittle, and why is Juice not being used any more than he should be?
Man, Kyle Shanahan, I mean, Juice doesn't really get involved. Obviously, he had that nice toe tap, but Juice doesn't really get involved a lot in the passing game. He's mainly used in a lot of run sets and a lot of run, when the Niners do run the football, he's usually used primarily as a blocker. Obviously, I would love to see him be used more in this pass game and get involved in this pass game. The only other time you see Juice really is when it's like at the 1 yard line. Maybe he might go in and Kyle Shanahan gives him a carry here and there, but Juice really doesn't get involved. I would love to see him being involved more in this offense. And then George Kittle, I mean, he's a really good player, and he is a huge part of this offense, especially in the run game. He's kind of like our sixth offensive lineman, but he's just not able to stay on the field a lot of the time, and that's really primarily why a lot of fans really sometimes some fans don't like George Kittle.
He's a tremendous player,
but he's a tremendous player, right? He's a tremendous player,
but he you know what? He out-hits his body. He'd rather run through than run around. Same with Jimmy Ward. They're great players, but they outrun their body. You take big hits, you know, eventually you go down. Both those guys have a lot of contact.
That's just Kittle's play style. And same thing with Deebo Samuel, like the yak yards and physical. Like you look at George Kittle, I mean, like George Kittle, like if there's like 3 defenders on him and he's still trying to run for extra yards, like that's George Kittle, right? George Kittle just plays a physical style of football and he's fighting for those extra yards. And George Kittle, I mean, he's a talented player, but he just can't always stay on the field. And it's been consistent that he just hasn't been able to stay on the field for the last couple of seasons, whether it might be like 3 games or 4 games, but he's just not always able to stay on the field. He is an important player and an important piece of this offense. It's just those injuries that really hurt George Kittle.
Bay Area Baller is calling you a legend.
Appreciate that, Bay Area Baller. Appreciate that.
Now, I mean, when you walk into your 9th grade class, do you say, "Hey, the legend has arrived"? Class can now start.
Nobody really knows about my podcast at school. So like I keep that very low key.
Really?
I keep that.
It's all over now though, man.
Wait a second. How credible is Bay Area Baller 18? Because he says, I know a guy who knows a guy in the Giants organization. And he said they're going after Aaron Judge.
But does Judge really solve the problem though? Like does Judge really solve the problem?
But beyond that, does Bay Area Baller know a guy who knows a guy? I mean, is this like reading this on the Krueg Show? Is that like the scroll on ESPN on the bottom that says the Giants have announced they are officially going after Aaron Judge? Can we treat Bay Area Ballers contact as like, can we take it to the bank?
I think we can. I mean, I think that's just common sense. Like they will go after him, or at least they'll.
But will they land him though? Will they land Aaron Judge?
No.
What's the most you would offer for Aaron Judge? Would you offer, as Buster Olney suggested, that the Giants may get him if they come down the pike with a $400 million 10-year offer, $40 million a year for 10 for Judge?
I'd do 300 for 5.
I agree with Ryan, but at the same time, like I don't know if Judge would solve the problem because he's only one guy.
$60 million a year.
He's only one guy.
Yeah.
But you guys just paid that one guy $60 million a year.
I would do it. I would do
$60 million a year.
It's not your money, Lair. I mean, here's the thing.
Okay, wait a second. Who is the highest paid guy in the game today?
I think Mookie Betts.
Annual salary?
Average annual.
Scherzer. I think it's Scherzer.
And what's he got? 43?
Something 42, 43.
You're going to blow away the average annual record salary by almost $20 million a year?
Yes.
That's a huge offer.
Yeah, because
I'm just trying to make you guys own the $60 million a year. That's a huge offer.
I would rather do that, overpay for 5 years than have the last 5 years, which we all know he's going to be injury prone, he's going to be DHing, and he's going to be a bum, and then we're going to be stuck with this fat ass contract.
Not a bad idea though, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that because here's my thing. I think this is the one guy because of Mets, Yankees, Red Sox, and just the nostalgia of what Judge means to the fan base in the Northeast. I think you could get 5 years into this deal and pay a little bit of the freight and be able to move him. I actually think he's kind of movable on the back end compared to let's say a pitcher who's got arm problems or something like that. Don't you think Aaron Judge will if Aaron Judge left the Yankees in his prime right now and signed with the Giants and was here for 5 years, whether it was a 5-year deal or 10-year deal, let's just say it was 10. And so there's 5 years left. And the Giants said, you know what? We want to move him or we're not competitive. Or don't you think those teams would want him back?
I don't know. They didn't really want
the Northeast. It depends on how well he does that specific year, how consistent he is. I think he ends up. Depends on how consistent he is.
Yeah, I think he ends up with a 7 or 8 year deal with the in the
for how much a year?
range.
How much a year?
40 plus 40, 42. 325 for 8 is that's what I think he'll probably end up signing for about.
I do that.
He's getting 31. I mean,
Here, this is what I see. This is exactly what I see playing out. This is Albert Pujols when he signed with the Angels at 32, 10-year contract. Already immediately numbers a little bit down: 285, 30 home runs, then 258, 17, 272, 28, 244, 40. I just see that kind of level. Like I'm seeing 50 points.
You got 5 years. You got 5 years of 90 plus RBIs out of him.
I know, that's why I'd pay out the wazoo for just 5, because this is what you don't want. This is brutal. Paying almost all your.
I gotta head out, Larry and Dan.
All right, no
Ryan,
problem.
I appreciate you guys for your time, and definitely had fun talking with you guys tonight.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Amin.
Have a great night, man. Thanks for coming by, and check out Amin on Monday nights, 9:30 roughly after Monday Night Football. He's going live with Bay Area Baller 18.
Usually about 8:15 though. Normally 8:30, right?
8:15, 8:30ish. Right after Monday Night Football. So like
Except this Monday night. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we
All right,
might
bro.
check your show out.
Okay,
sometime.
Amin.
Yeah.
All right, later,
Have
everybody.
a good Saturday, man. Later. There we go. The great Amin.
Cool.
I agree with Beats.
America. See, there you go. There's the future of America right there. That kid's sharp. I like that. I like that. Very cool. Very cool.
Getting back to the baseball
Krug's take on is swapped on what is it?
Civic?
What's that? What am I missing? What does that guy say? Krug's take on is swapped Civic
on IS. Who's I or
on
LS?
On L swapped.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Spencer says Judge has 5 to 7 good years left. I will say this: at least the DH is in the National League. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Right.
yeah. So like, so what? He slows down a little bit. The one thing about Judge though is I just gotta think that marketing wise and attendance wise, I mean, merchandising, marketing, ticket sales. I think he's the right guy. Clearly, like to me, like. Okay, so let's just say he's the number 1 free agent out there, right? I think we'd all agree that's probably the case. Let's say Trey Turner is that second free agent, the number 2 free agent. I think Judge has so much more value marketing-wise, merchandising-wise, ticket sales-wise than Trey Turner. Even though Trey Turner might be the better call, right? Because he's fast. He can play second. He can play third. He's young. He's got nothing about his game probably won't translate. He's going to be really, really good. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know that people buy tickets to see Trey Turner.
Hey,
But they would sign. They would for Aaron Judge. I really believe that.
I've got a question for you guys. Off the top of your head,
Graves like
Judge
sign both.
Aaron
Sign
Judge
both
is
of them.
about to turn 31. Off the top of your head, how many All-Star games has Aaron Judge played in? It's the first question. What would you
I'd say
guess?
2.
He's played in 4.
I was going to say 3. But
Okay. How many times has he hit over 300?
2.
None.
Just this year.
This will be his second time.
No,
No,
just
this is number 1. He's never hit
This is
300.
Okay.
How many times has he hit over 27 home runs?
This is his 3rd year.
I would say 4.
This is his 2nd year doing that.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, that's not true. This is a 3rd. This is his 3rd. So I'm just saying that it's like he's third. He's about to turn 31.
You're saying he sucks.
He's only been in the league like 5 years though, right?
He's been in the league since
No.
6 years.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. But I mean, at the same time, it's like he's 31.
Well, he came up like at 25. And
so I'm just saying, what are the odds that we get some incredible production out of him for 10 years?
Oh, I don't think it's good.
No.
I think you're looking at 5 years.
He's going to hit what he's going to hit is about 275 with 30 homers and 90 RBIs. If you like 275 with 30 homers and 90 RBIs, and pay him. The 61, 130, 313 year, this is his career year, and it makes sense. Would you say how old? He's 30 right now, so he's in his prime. He's in his prime. The thing about it that's going to be depressing is how many times will they take the bat out of his hands if they don't. To me, you only go after Aaron Judge if I was Aaron Judge's agent, I wouldn't allow the Giants to sign him first. I would say we will go there if you do a couple things to bolster your lineup. You do something to bolster your lineup, then we may go there. Otherwise, no, we're not going there. I'm not going to be the guy who goes there and then stands there walking away from Cooperstown, because he may not make it. That's reality. He's got 219 home runs. He's a 284 career hitter. If he stays with the Yankees, his chances of making the Hall of Fame are way better than if he leaves. And I think he understands that. So he's
too
not
bad baseball's not like
trend.
Basketball where you could get, Kawhi could get Paul George and let's make this deal, Judge has a buddy that, Bryce Harper or something comes over. But, what's interesting is Austin Wynns is now hitting like 264. And
he's a great player. He's a truly great player, Austin Wynns.
He's hitting 264 as the backup catcher. Who was his college teammate?
I'm guessing Austin Wynns.
What's that?
I'm guessing
Aaron his college teammate.
I'm guessing Aaron Judge.
Yep.
Maybe that's you saying that Austin Wynns is here as a way to get Aaron Judge?
Possibly. I mean,
that would explain. At least that would explain what the hell Austin Wynns is doing on the damn team.
I mean, that they kept him in the second half when they were,
Actually, Wynns he's been surprisingly good.
He's
for a backup catcher.
For a backup, he's done all right.
264 in this year is that's like 290 in most years.
So I mean, Wynns maybe becomes the backup. Buster on board, Wynns on board to help recruit Aaron Judge. And if Aaron Judge
conspiracy theory right there.
I mean, if Aaron Judge could maybe talk with some other free agent that is big to come over, whether it be Correa or Turner, and they're working together. And
Ron Holder says, here's $1.99. Larry, what happened to Hunter Bishop? Is he a bust? Well, he's gotten off to a relatively slow start, but Danny, didn't you tell me that Bishop finished fast?
Yeah, he finished good in the last month. He finally started to, he was injured most of the last couple of years. Let me look and see what he did here.
They drafted him over Corbin Carroll.
Yeah, Corbin Carroll. Did you see him run into the security guard last night down the left field line? Foul ball.
The thing about a lot of these guys, it's like you got to really let it play itself out. But man, you would think after that a guy like Hunter Bishop, who had a full college career in the pack, that that he at this point would be on the verge of breaking through, and he's not. He's not. That's the disappointing thing. But then you also got to mix in the pandemic and the cancellation of the minor league ball and the alternate site.
He had shoulder surgery or something. He was out, missed a whole year.
Injuries. I think they really like Hunter Bishop, but
it looks like he came back fairly
Clarence
strong.
Beek says the Giants are not outbidding the Yankees for a homegrown rock star. Yeah, I can't. Well, I think the Giants will outbid the Yankees. But I'll say this, and I really believe this. The Giants won't get Aaron Judge unless they have a what the fuck kind of an offer. You know what I mean? They're not going to win. They're not going to land Aaron Judge because they offered $375 and the Yankees offered $365. No.
Right. Nope.
They're going to have to. The only way the Giants are going to win this is if the Giants offered $400 million and the Yankees would not move over $350. They're going to have to blow away the market and set a new standard for spending. And don't you think? I mean, don't you guys think? Yeah. I mean, I don't see him leaving for.
What did he turn down? He turned down 7 years.
It would be. I think he's going to have to take. I would say it's going to have to be minimum $50 million over the course of the contract for him to leave the Yankees for the Giants.
I kind of like Rye's idea.
What do you guys think? Do you think that's about right?
Yeah,
I like Rye's idea, but I think I would do it just a little bit different twist. I think I'd
maybe right in the middle. I'm saying 10. He's saying 5. How about 8?
No, I'd go 6 years, $350. That's 50 a year. 50 times 6. No, wait, 50 times 6 is 300. So we were doing 60 times 60 at 5. So 50.
Romo says he turned down 7 for 230. So we got offered roughly what, 22 a year?
Yeah, I think what I would do is do you think 50 at 300 would get him? I mean, 50 times 6, that's 50 a year times 6 years.
As I said, I think the Yankees are gonna offer. My guess is,
I think the Yankees offer 6 years because they went 7. I think maybe they might go 7, and I think they're going to go about 300.
220 for 7 is 30. It's like 31 and a half a year.
I don't think the Yankees go much more than 300.
He's not leaving the Yankees. No way he's leaving. It's the freaking Yankees. There's no way that he's going to leave the Yankees at 30 and come over here and hope.
Yeah.
He's leaving the freaking pinstripes. The Yankees. This is the New York Yankees. There's no way. He's not leaving.
I would say, okay. I don't think he's leaving either. I can't picture it. But that's why I'm saying it has to be a crazy offer. Let's say it was, so what did he turn down? He turned down 7 for 230.
Mm-hmm. 219, or was it 230? I don't remember.
230 for 7.
220 for 7. I wrote.
That's 220.
I thought it was about 220.
So he turned down
30-some million a year. 30.5 million, something like that.
Let's see, 230 divided by 7 is 70.
It's like 30 something million, right? 30 and change.
It's almost 33 million. 33 million a year.
Yeah.
It was 7 year, 213.5 million. So
let's say the Yankees would go, let's say they would go 7 years, 35 million per. Let's say they would go 245 and maybe up to 250, right? I don't think the Giants would get him unless they went like 30 million a year.
Giants
7 and 250.
Giants have to go more than 30 because he turned down 30 last year. He was 7 years, 213.5 million. That's 30.5 million a year he turned down. So I think you got to have to come up closer to 40.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. And it may have to be like, maybe it would be some kind of a deal that, you could give yourself some relief on the back end to make yourself feel better. But it would have to be all, the exchange would be huge money up front or some massive signing bonus. I like the
325 and 8. I think 8 years, 325, that's 40.6 a year. And then at the end, I offer him shares or something as ownership when he retires.
He also might want like 12 years.
He might want to play till he's 40 plus.
Well, and just have a guaranteed check till, like Bryce Harper got 13.
See,
so Danny's one. Wait, so you're what? Say that again, Danny. You were going to offer him 40.6 for how many years?
8 years, 3.25. If I got to go more, I'll go more.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I really think that the sweet spot that would make him go, would be 10 years, 400 million.
It's 40 a year, yeah. I'd rather
40 a year, but it's also guaranteeing $400 million.
Yeah, I'm okay with that
because I think that would beat the Yankees' best offer by probably.
The Yankees aren't doing that. Yankees aren't going
50 million. The Giants are going to have to win by 50 million.
Yankees aren't doubling their offer almost. They offer 213. They're not going anywhere near 400. They're an analytical team. We heard what Michael Kay had to say about them. They're built on analytics, and there's a point they will stop and they will say, we'll replace them. I mean, you got to realize they've got.
How good is Corey Seager? He got 10 for 325.
Yeah.
Corey Seager's not bad.
He's a power hitting shortstop. I thought the Giants would
go. I thought the Giants were going to go after him, but then Crawford had that career year last year.
I mean, he's making almost double what Chris Bryant's making.
Chris Bryant, there's a guy, man.
Freddie Freeman got 6 for 162. I mean, that's not
Corey Seager is hitting 247, by the way. That is a ton. That's a ton of cash for a guy hitting 247.
Ryan.
Yep.
What is Judge's strikeout ratio per year?
Aaron Judge.
Because I look at it this way. In my years of watching baseball, how much?
30.
30%?
Yep.
It's pretty – that's up there.
Yeah, he struck out 170 times this year.
Let me run through year by year. His first year when he was a rookie, he only played 27 games, but it was 44%, then 31, then 31, then 32, then 28, then 25, then 25 this year. It's not great.
so the way I see it is that good pitching beats good hitting. That's just the way I see it. I'm not a numbers guy. I'm not a stats guy, but I know what I know, and I've seen that. Every single time, most of the time, the World Series champs have great pitching, and it shuts down the other teams.
I don't know about every time. I mean, think about those think about those Red Sox teams that beat, like the Red Sox team that beat the Cardinals a few years ago. That team raked, and the Cardinals had tremendous pitching, and the Red Sox still found a way to win that series. But I hear you. Generally, the top pitching will shut down the top hitting. Especially what it really comes down to is great pitching will shut off the faucet on top tier power hitting. You might not be able to. You're going to get them out. You know what I'm saying? You're going to keep them in the yard and neutralize what their strength is. If you're a great pitcher,
it stops any rallies. Plus, it stops the rallies also.
But also, here's the other thing, though. It costs a ton for great pitching, and we've all seen it. It's like there's sometimes no advance warning at all, and all of a sudden, I got my forearm. Now I've got a pronator strain. I'm done. You know what I mean? It's like where the one thing with the position players is there really isn't anything like that. There may be a guy who gets tired. There may be a guy who swings, slows down, strikes out a bunch. But as far as just like all of a sudden you're going to pay a guy, $40 million a year and he's not playing at all. I'd much rather pay a position player than a pitcher just based on the durability factor.
Hey, what do you guys think? Take a guess at Tony Gwynn's strikeout percentage without looking.
20%, 15%.
What do you think, Rye?
13.
Yeah.
Maybe
What do
less.
you think,
Less, 11%.
What do you got, Jaguayo?
I'd say 12.
This is unbelievable. 4.7.
Wow.
4.7.
Well, go look at DiMaggio's. Go look at Joe DiMaggio.
DiMaggio's is, I got it right here. 5. Well, I had it. Come on.
Yeah, I don't want Judge.
You don't want Judge.
Don't want him.
5 point. DiMaggio.
Who are the
thing about Judge? The Giants have two problems. The Giants have two problems. They're not a good offensive team, but their other problem is they're dull and they don't have a headliner.
You know what, Larry? The Giants are not, like you said, they're not a good offensive team, but
they need a marketing piece too, more than anything. There's nobody you want to see.
They're not a good offensive team.
Yeah. Though they did give my kid, he went last night. They gave away. He went to a game earlier this year, and they ran out of Cal. It was Cal night, where they give like Giants like long sleeve T-shirts that say Berkeley on them, Cal Berkeley, and they ran out of them. They gave them extra tickets for this game in September, and they gave them the Cal Giants shirt, which looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Anybody have anything else they want to add in this live stream? Have you guys played any of the commercials?
Have not.
I want Pasquale.
Yeah.
He wants Pasquale. All right, here we go. We got a word from our sponsors right now on the Krueg Show. Larry Krueger here for Telmetrics. Thanks to Casey Bateman and the good people at Telmetrics. If you're an occupational therapist, if you're an orthopedic surgeon, a chiropractor, a physical therapist of any kind, Telmetrics is designed for you to use in your practice and will greatly benefit your patients. Telmetrics uses computer vision and artificial intelligence and provides a platform for outpatient rehab therapy services, both in the clinical and the telehealth environments. So using Telmetrics can improve your patient's experience and much more. So for all your sports injury needs, or if you're a physical rehabilitation specialist of any kind, make sure you use telmetrics.co, TELMETRIX.co. And thanks to Casey Bateman and all the good people at Telmetrics for being a proud sponsor of the Krueg. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Dan Coach Emilio. Dan is a buddy, and he is a phenomenal retirement planning specialist. And you can contact him today at securemoney.com or at his number, 925-628-9966. There's a lot of uncertainty in our world right now, and you want to make sure that your money is secure. That is the key. Danny's got 25 years of experience, born and raised right here in the Bay Area, and he can help you get an immediate 10% premium bonus on your principal retirement account. So give him a call, 925-628-9966. He'll make an appointment with you, and you can sit down. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of a deal. He'll consult with you and come up with a strategy to get you going to where you want to be. Once again, 925-628-9966, securemoney.com on the web. And thanks to Dan Coach Emilio and all the people at Secure Money for being proud sponsors of the Krueg Show. And thanks to Tony Casera and the good people at Casera's Italian Menswear. They are housing the Krueg Show t-shirts, and they're a proud sponsor of the show as well. The Krueg Show t-shirt, the Krueg Show podcast t-shirt is available there at their store in Dublin. Their address is 7372 San Ramon Road in Dublin, California. And go see Tony Casera and get yourself a Krueg Show t-shirt and support the show. And special thanks to our sponsor, New York Style Italian Sausage. That's right, NewYorkStyleSausage.com is their website. Phenomenal product, whether it's the breakfast sausage, the Italian mild, the Italian spicy, the chorizo. You cannot go wrong with New York Style Italian Sausage. Once again, NewYorkStyleSausage.com. Often imitated, never equaled.
We grew up with a Sunday dinner. That means no matter how busy you were, no matter where the hell you were, you came to dinner on a Sunday night. Yeah, Sunday dinner without sausage, it's like a church without God. You know, how can you go to church if you don't believe in God? You know, and along with the sausage also became the discussions. That was discussion night. You know, it wasn't a typical family that you sit there and you're quiet, you know, and you don't talk with a mouthful. Oh no, man. Italians talk when they're eating. Italians even talk when they're sleeping. And definitely we talk with our hands. So if we can't express it through our mouth, through our lips, we express it with our hands. So, and that's what sausage is, really. It's an expression, you know, that life is good.
So New York Style Sausage was started over 7 years ago. We are the largest producer of fresh Italian sausage on the West Coast.
What makes our sausage in New York Style is really the recipe came from back east, from New York, you know, from Connecticut.
If you look at all of our labels, there's maximum 4 or 5 ingredients, which we're really proud of.
There's no preservatives, no MSG, fresh in, fresh out.
The pork comes in fresh, goes out fresh. There's never any freezing throughout the process. We've always used fine quality cuts. We're never gonna deter from that. It's one of the reasons why our sausage is so good. I guarantee you put our sausage up against anybody else's from a flavor standpoint, no one will beat it, hands down.
And do yourself a favor and do me a favor. Go buy a package of the New York Style Italian sausage. Guaranteed you will love it. Guaranteed.
All right, coming down the home stretch on the Krueg Show, Larry Krueger, Ryan Smith, Dan Coach Emilio Jaguayo joining us tonight as well on the live stream. And guys, we'll just read a couple more of these and then we'll call it a night. Jackson J says, guys, if you don't mind a question about the Warriors, of course not. We always love talking Warriors. Should Steve Kerr, who, by the way, the guy who owns a donut shop across the way, CK, is always like, man, the Warriors got to fire Steve Kerr. I'm like, CK, they won the freaking title. He's like, yeah, but man, they would have been so much better with Kerr, without Kerr. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's really he's really bent. But here we go. He says, should Kerr play Wiseman, Kuminga, Moody down the stretch in close games and sit Steph, Clay, and Wiggins as long as the Dubs are trending towards the playoffs? No, I mean, it depends when we're talking about. If we're talking about like the final 2 weeks of the year and you're just trying to close it out and you've got some big lead. And yeah, I'll say this. I really think Golden State is going to prioritize, how they're playing and getting in a good rhythm in the final stretch of the year than any win total or any this guy over that guy. I think it's, they're going to, if any of their veterans, not as much Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody, those guys are young veterans, but Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Draymond, those guys, if those guys have any kind of little malady, health wise, they're going to sit. They're just going to sit them. Why? Because they're that deep. So they're going to sit those guys if they have any injuries at all. But then towards the end of the year, I would say they're just going to prioritize getting in a rhythm over playing this guy versus that guy down the stretch. How do you guys see it?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's no reason to burn these guys out during the regular season.
Yeah, and my plan worked this morning. My sleep before the game and all that really worked out. I watched the game. It was I was really, really happy with Wiseman. He moved fantastic. And of course, Clay, Clay wasn't in play. Steph, Wiggins, Poole, Kuminga, they were like 1 for 30 or something like that. But the other guys stepped it up. And I liked what I saw yesterday or this morning.
Yeah, was that the first game that went off at 3 a.m.?
Yes.
Yeah. A couple things stood out in that game. One, Wiseman looked awesome. The other thing is DiVincenzo can rebound a little bit. He had 9 boards in that game, and I kind of like the way DiVincenzo looks. He's gonna make some good basketball plays, and he had a couple nice passes to Kuminga. And it's just like, you know what? When you get a bunch of guys playing the right way, I think Kuminga is really going to flourish. I really do. I think, all this talk about Kuminga doesn't work hard and this and that, I think that probably got his attention. I bet you Kuminga and Moody have real bust out kind of years this year.
Rollins looked pretty good too.
I didn't see Rollins that much. What did Rollins do? Anything good?
He did pretty good. I think he got like 5 points, I believe.
But just like he looks like he has great skill and like court awareness.
He's got long arms. I know that. He's an on-the-ball defender. They really like him. I'll say this, too. Watch out for Mac McClung. Soul Harvester says McClung's going to contribute to the Warriors this season. I'll say this. I love the way McClung fed James Wiseman in the Summer League. And just to me, it just seems like if you're going to have a backup point, yeah, it would be nice if it was a big backup point, like a 6'6", 6'7" guy with long arms who could defend multiple positions. But, man, if you really need a point guard just to distribute on a team that has all this talent, a guy like McClung is not a bad answer. He's not really going to do anything except for facilitate the offense, and he understands to throw the lob to Wiseman. I don't think I've seen James Wiseman look that comfortable rolling to the hoop until I saw him with McClung in Summer League. So we'll see. They're loaded. They're deep. They're loaded. It's going to be fun. I would say they're going to win 55 games and have a very good chance to win another title.
I think they're going to probably – I know last year they did it in the 3 seed. They'd probably prefer to be the 2, and I don't think they'll fight for the 1. If they're in it, like dogfight, if guys are injured. But if they're blowing away people and walk away with the one like they did, a couple times, I could see him doing that. I kind of like what Cy said, that he thinks they'll be kind of like that second year after they won the title when they'll just be dominating. They're deep enough to go 12 deep, even deeper. I mean, you can suit up 13, I believe, a night. There's always a guy or two that don't play, it seems like, each night, but rotating, I could see them playing regular season pretty strong, 11 guys.
By the way,
nights.
Georgia came from behind and did beat Missouri 26-22. So the number one dogs do not fall in Columbia tonight.
Yeah.
And SC, by the way, they're big favorites. They're 24-point favorites or whatever. That's 14-10 SC over ASU early second quarter. So.
Yeah, but Lincoln Riley could get that thing going very quick. He can put 28 up in about 8 minutes.
Oh, I know. So,
man,
we shall see. All right, guys, good stuff.
Was JaMychal Green too?
JaMychal Green. Yeah, veteran, big man who can play some backup four. The guy that I'm eager to see this year is Patrick Baldwin, because I've been told that Baldwin has got a really high basketball IQ, and man, if you put a guy who's 6'10" who can shoot with a really high basketball IQ on this team, that's going to be a nice piece. I don't know how he's going to fit in.
He can handle the ball too. He can handle the ball too.
Yeah, I'm eager to see that.
I hope they keep him in the G League just so because he maybe plays 3-4 minutes here and there up here. I want that guy to get reps.
So my final thought for the night is for the Giants going forward.
Warriors go tonight at 10, by the way. Decent time. Yeah. So if you want to watch them, they're an hour and 15 away.
What channel is that one on? Local
NBA TV, I believe. NBA TV.
Yeah, I got that. So I want to see the Giants. I think pitching is what gets you to titles and some good timely hitting and good defense. You got Logan Webb. You got Alex Cobb signed next year. Which Cobb's been one of the better pitchers statistically in the league. You've got DeSclafani coming back, Wood coming back. They don't excite me. What excites me is Rodon. I want to see Rodon back. I want to see him, Giants need to put some money into the starting pitching. I know he's got injury history, but, when you talk about everyday players with contracts, there's been a lot of bust in baseball, that guys that signed big contracts that were just total bust. Jacoby Ellsbury being one, Chris Davis, Ryan Howard, Mo Vaughn, Juan Gonzalez, Melvin Upton, Julio Lugo, Vince Coleman, Jason Bay. The list goes on and on. Bobby Bonilla, Jeffrey Hammonds, Scott Spezio, Milton Bradley, Gary Matthews Jr. when he left the Giants, Carl Crawford, Yasmani Tomas, Josh Hamilton. That was a big one. David Wright, Pablo, another.
We get it. There's been some bad contracts.
These guys, but not one pitcher in this big list of bombs, though. So you got a lot of guys that, bomb out.
Mike Hampton. Have you heard of Mike Hampton?
Oh, yeah. I've heard of Mike Hampton. Yeah. Have you
heard
Jones?
of Jason? Do you ever heard of Jason Schmidt? Dodgers signed him to like $50 million deal after I don't think he won a game.
Danny Tartable. But the point is that big guys that are position players do bomb out as well. So I think pitching and a couple of good stars. I would go after Judge. I would go after Correa and Turner. Hopefully get one of them. I don't know. Are all those guys Boros clients? I know Judge is and Turner. I don't know about Correa. I can't remember who.
Is Jock gone? Is Jock
He's a free agent. He's a free agent.
Yeah, Jock is probably waiting to see what the Giants do. I think he's waiting. I think he'd like to remain in San Francisco, but he wants to be in the playoffs. And he saw Farhan literally treat this team like it was his fantasy football team. I'm picking up Padlo. This guy, Mike Ford, he looks like a guy that could come in for a game or two. I mean, he literally brought guys in for a game or two. And Jock is like, I've never seen anything like this. I think Jock is waiting to see. He made the comment last week that this isn't that fun playing meaningless baseball. So Jock is expecting to see the Giants produce something. And I think if he sees what they do, and if they go out and get some key people that are everyday players, I think Jock could be a guy that comes in and, knows his role and platoons and occasionally DHs against right-handed pitching. And I think Jock would be happy, but he's not going to come back with this roster. I don't see him coming back with this present roster. You guys agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
I mean,
so.
he's a local guy, but he wants to win. He wants to win. But it's like, you know what? Farhan's already, hey, I like Jock, like to have him back, like Yaz, like to have him back. Well, what I mean, he
wants Yaz back. He
just said 3 weeks ago he wanted to have. He just said 3 weeks ago he wanted to have 5 guys starting every day, and he doesn't have 5.
Then he says he wants to bring maybe Longoria back.
Those 5? Yeah, I mean, come on.
And then Kuiper is saying,
I would say to the Giants, stop talking. Just stop talking. Just do.
Yeah.
Just do.
It's just like crazy. How do you bring all those guys back and have room to get 5 new guys that can play every day? Because you don't have 5 guys that can play every day now. You got 1, and that's
right.
Crawford.
And he might be the guy they replace. He's the guy who's probably easiest to replace.
Well, I don't think they'll move him. I don't think.
Well, but I'm just saying, it's like there's a lot of talk about Correa and Bogarts and all these Trey Turner and heck, the one guy who plays every day on this team, they may ask to play every day at second base next year. We'll see. It's going to be a very interesting offseason.
All starts November 7th, free agent signing. So, And then you got the winter meetings in the first week around the 4th of December. They go down to San Diego for the winter general manager meeting. So hopefully we know something before the end of this year and we don't go into March like they've done the last couple of years with a bunch. Harper didn't sign until spring training.
Well, that's
started.
Another problem the Giants have too, is there's a lot of season ticket holders that don't want to spend until they see what the Giants spend. So I don't know that the Giants can, Farhan likes to wait it out to try to get the best deals. I don't think he's going to have to set the market this year. Is he comfortable doing that? How do they do that? So it's going to be riveting to watch it. First, we get the baseball playoffs, but good stuff, guys.
If they sign Judge and another hot free agent, watch season ticket sales soar. It's
a big soar. Big if. All right, fellas. Good night, everybody. Strong.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get exactly what you asked for. Careful, whatever you bring me getting handled. I answer to no one, I don't need to hassle. Yeah.